Chapter 1522. Feng Zhangxia also tried to persuade her. That's right, second sister-in-law. No matter what, we won't have to get into an amicable divorce. You and second brother have been husband and wife for decades. As the saying goes, one day as husband and wife means endless devotion for the rest of your life. If it's not a special occasion, you can't get into an amicable divorce. Second sister-in-law, you have to calm down. Let's talk things out. If we get into an amicable divorce, everyone will think that old Zhao's family is a joke, Zhao Wentao said. How could Li Chuiying not understand what these people were saying in her heart? She just felt very unreconciled. It was because the people of old Zhao's family were sure that she would not be with them that they bullied her so unscrupulously. Hua Chunhua was stunned for a while, and said even more brazenly, "Haha, she dares to get a divorce? That's really strange. A woman in her 30s or 40s. If she gets a divorce and goes back to her family, isn't she afraid that her family will laugh at her? I don't think she has the face to do that. Even if she does, her family won't let her go back. What are you trying to persuade her for? She's just making a fuss. Does she really dare to leave our second brother?" Li Chuiying was even angrier when she heard Hua Chuanhua's words. Zhao Yin was watching from the side. When she saw Hua Chuanhua's overbearing and arrogant manner, she felt disgusted. Hua Chunhua really showed the image of an evil mother-in-law vividly. Zhao Wenshui was originally worried, but when he heard Hua Chuanhua's words, he immediately felt relieved. His mother was right. He didn't believe that Li Chuiying would really leave him. If she dared to leave and her family didn't accept her, she would have to obediently come back and beg him. Sure. Li Chuiying's lips curled into a smile. Anyone who had been humiliated like this would feel suffocated in their hearts. If that's the case, then let's get a divorce. Old Zhao's family doesn't care whether I live or die in the future. Anyway, Zhao Wenshui, I'm not going to serve you anymore. Mother, if you have that ability, then find a wife for him. I don't believe that any woman would be so stupid. Her mother-in-law is an evil mother-in-law, and her husband is a lazy and good-for-nothing who likes to flirt with other women. She works herself to death every day doing this and that. Who would be willing to marry him? Li Chuiying said and ran back to the second branch's room to start packing. As long as she was alive, she had to fight for herself. If she compromised today, the Zhao family would look down on her even more. They would also bully her even more. He really couldn't bear this kind of life any longer. His heart was like dead ashes. Even if he went back to his mother's house to suffer, it was still better than staying in old Zhao's house. Seeing Li Chuiying packing up, Zhao Jing'er hurried forward and asked, "Mother, are you really leaving?" Seeing Zhao Jing'er, Li Chuiying choked with sobs. "Ah, Jing'er, you saw it too. Mother had no choice. After being bullied by your father and grandmother to this extent, Mother is afraid that I will be forced to death by them in the afternoon. Mother, you are a good child. I believe you can understand that it's not that Mother doesn't want you, but that I really have no choice." Zhao Jing'er naturally understood. During this period of time, her father had bullied her mother very badly. This time, it was indeed her father and her grandmother who had bullied her. Zhao Jing'er thought about it and said to Li Chuiying, "Mother, I support you in leaving. When I get married, I can be filial to you. You have to suffer a little for now. I will help you settle down later." Chapter 1523. Hearing Zhao Jing'er's words, Li Chuiying wiped the tears from the corners of her eyes and said to Zhao Jing, Jing, you are really my good daughter. Mom, hurry up and pack up. Let's go." "Okay." Li Chuiying didn't have many things, only a few pieces of clothes. She packed up in a short while and left with it. Seeing Li Chuiying's attitude, it seemed that she was determined to divorce Zhao Wenshui and leave old Zhao's house. "I'm leaving now. Send the divorce papers to my mother's house," Li Chuiying said and walked out of old Zhao's yard. When Hua Chunhua saw this, she was dumbfounded. This second daughter-in-law actually wanted to leave. If Li Chuiying left, wouldn't the second branch be finished? Who would take care of Zhao Wenshui? She was already so old. She couldn't help her son do this and that, could she? It was tiring to cook and wash clothes by herself every day. After all, she was getting old and couldn't walk properly. Hua Chunhua stood there in a daze. The other members of old Zhao's family hurriedly stopped Li Chuiying and persuaded Li Chuiying, second sister-in-law, you can't leave. We can't do without a woman at home. Second brother can't cook and Tianyu needs someone to take care of him. Second brother is a rough man and can't be relied on. If you leave, Tianyu will suffer too. Speaking of Zhao Tianyu, Li Chuiying looked in Zhao Tianyu's direction. Seeing this son, Li Chuiying was indeed worried and reluctant to leave. However, she knew very well that if she really left, old Zhao's family wouldn't leave her alone. Hu Chunhua treasured her grandchildren very much. It was impossible that she wouldn't even give Zhao Tianyu something to eat. She couldn't be trapped because of the child. She couldn't be bullied by old Zhao's family because of the child. Li Chuiying snorted and said, that's old Zhao's business. Tianyu is old Zhao's child. If you don't care, why should I care? No matter if it's food, drinks, or anything else, he can just look for his father. Why must he look for me? After Li Chuiying finished speaking, Hu Chunhua pointed at Li Chuiying angrily and said, listen to him. Listen to him. What the hell did he say? He really pissed me off. Old Zhao's family is really unlucky to have such a daughter-in-law. After Hu Chunhua finished scolding, old Zhao's other family members frowned and tried to persuade her. Mother, don't say any more. Besides, second sister-in-law has really left. That's right, mother. Now that second sister-in-law is gone, it's second brother and the two children who will suffer. Why are you scolding him instead of persuading him? Scold? What's wrong with me scolding him? Am I not allowed to be scolded? Mother, if you scold him, how can we make second sister-in-law stay? Are we really going to let her go? That's right, mother. If second sister-in-law leaves, second brother and the two children will be the ones crying. You'll have to work hard too, right? No matter what, it's not good for second sister-in-law to leave. Hu Chunhua's originally soaring arrogance was greatly reduced, but she still did not relent. Zhao Yun'er watched from the side with a cold smile on her face. Hu Chunhua was really hopelessly stupid. Where did she get the confidence that Li Chuiying could not leave old Zhao's family? Even at this time, she still said such things. In order to make Hu Chunhua come to her senses, Zhao Yun'er poked Hu Chunhua's sore spot. Grandmother, all the uncles and aunts are right. We still can't let second aunt leave. If second aunt leaves and divorces second uncle will become a bachelor. Chapter 1524. At the mention of money, Hu Chunhua's expression finally changed. Her gaze fell on Zhao Yun'er as if she wanted to hear Zhao Yun'er continue. When Zhao Yun'er saw Hu Chunhua's reaction, she knew that her words had touched Hu Chunhua's heart. She continued, let's talk about the problem of money. With your second uncle's condition, he has done so many shameful things. Everyone in the village knows that it won't be easy for him to get married again. I estimate that he'll have to pay several times more than an ordinary girl. Also, if he marries a woman as old as your second uncle, she'll probably have a child with her. When the time comes, old Zhao's family can't help raise other people's children, right? After hearing Zhao Yun'er's words, Hu Chunhua immediately felt that it was very reasonable. Old Zhao's family naturally couldn't raise other people's children. At the thought of spending a lot of money, Hu Chunhua felt her heart bleeding. She wasn't willing to spend so much money. After hearing Zhao Yun'er's words, other than Hu Chunhua's thoughts, the eldest branch also began to make plans in their hearts. Zhao Wenshi leaned in front of Hu Chunhua and said, Mother, you can't only be partial to second brother. If you give second brother so much money to get married, the other branches will have to give the same amount of money later, right? Feng Zhangxia added, that's right, mother. We're all sons, so we have to be equal. No matter what, we can't care about second brother alone. Previously, second brother caused so much trouble, so he's already spent a lot of money. After hearing the eldest branch's words, Hu Chunhua knew that it was even more impossible for her to fork out the money. If she gave so much money to each branch, where would she get the money? Hu Chunhua frowned. She knew that she shouldn't let Li Chuiying leave. She had to keep Li Chuiying. He didn't want to say anything at first, but now that he was forced, he had no choice but to say, then second daughter-in-law shouldn't have left. Mother, please persuade second sister-in-law. Qian Zhouxia sighed and tried to persuade her. After all, Hu Chunhua was indeed wrong in this matter. Perhaps if Hu Chunhua softened her tone, Li Chuiying would not be so angry that she wanted to leave. Qian Zhurong then turned to Zhao Wenshui and advised, "Second brother, don't just stand there. Persuade second sister-in-law. You still have to treasure this daughter-in-law. What will you do without her?" Hu Chunhua couldn't swallow her pride. Just now he was so aggressive. How could she be willing to lower her head to Li Chuiying now? Seeing that Hu Chunhua and Zhao Wenshui were unmoved, Qian Hong was very anxious. What should she do now? If she didn't say anything, Li Chuiying would really leave. Zhao Baoshan, who had been silent for a while, spoke. "Old woman, why aren't you going? Do you want your son to be a bachelor for the rest of his life? And second brother, you brat. Not only did you embarrass the old Zhao family, but you also want to drive your wife away, right?" "Old man. Father." Zhao Baoshan glared at the two of them and swung the stick in his hand at Zhao Wenshui. "What are you waiting for? Hurry up and go." Although Zhao Wenshui and Hu Chunhua were a little unwilling, they still went to Li Chuiying and tried to persuade Li Chuiying to stay. Chapter 1525. Wife, don't be angry with me. We're already so old. What's the point of getting a divorce? Let's live happily in the future. Second sister-in-law, mother and second brother have already said so. Don't be angry and stay. We're a harmonious family. That's right. It hasn't been easy for us to live together for so many years. We can't make such a fuss and let other people laugh at our old Zhao family. Zhao Baoshan also stood up and went to Li Chuiying. He said softly, "Second sister-in-law, it's second brother and your mother's fault today. Second brother is a scoundrel. He's too lazy to give birth to maggots. Thank you for taking care of him during this period. I'll definitely help you discipline him in the future. He won't be like this again. And your mother, her words aren't nice either. She's ignorant and only knows how to make a fuss. I'll help you reprimand her. Calm down and don't argue with an old woman like her." Li Chuiying felt that it was better to believe in nonsense than these people. She ignored them and turned around. "Stop talking. I'm determined to leave today. It's useless no matter how much you say." With that, Li Chuiying broke free from old Zhao's family and walked away. Looking at Li Chuiying's back, old Zhao's family knew that Li Chuiying couldn't stay. After Li Chuiying was far away, old Zhao's family sighed. Qian Hongzhao said, "Sai, it's not good for second sister-in-law to leave now. What about second brother and the rest?" Zhao Baoshan also frowned and looked worried. "It's all because of second brother and that old woman. They even made our daughter-in-law run away. I've seen it for myself." He didn't know what to say about Zhao Wenshui and Hu Chunhua. Hu Chunhua not only didn't blame Zhao Wenshui, but also added fuel to the fire, which made Li Chuiying angry and run away. He wondered what was in this old woman's head. Was it filled with sh*t? Zhao Wenshui and Hu Chunhua's arrogance immediately subsided. They didn't know what to say, because he was already dumbfounded. Gone, really gone. Zhao Wenshui suddenly felt bitter in his heart. He felt a faint sadness at the thought of no one serving him. During this period of time, Li Chuiying waited on him, and she enjoyed it immensely. He wouldn't be able to take it if Li Chuiying was gone. Besides, Li Chuiying was a woman. When she wanted to have sex, she could do it a little. That way, she would be able to expel whatever was in her body. Without Li Chuiying, he wouldn't have a woman by his side. Who would he find to vent his anger on? Meanwhile, Hu Chunhua was thinking about Zhao Yiner's words. If Li Chuiying really didn't come back, then she naturally couldn't let Zhao Wenshui be a bachelor for the rest of his life. If that happened, she would have to spend a lot of money. Just thinking about it made her heart bleed. After Zhao Baoshan finished scolding, he sighed. He really didn't know what else to say. Qian Hongzhao said, "Sai, there's nothing we can do now. We can only wait for second sister-in-law to calm down after she returns to her maiden home. Then, second brother will go to second sister-in-law's maiden home to persuade her to come back." Chapter 1526. Zhao Wenshui nodded heavily and said, "Father, I understand. I'll go and coax her later." Zhao Baoshan responded. His anger seemed to have subsided a little. But he was still dissatisfied with Zhao Wenshui. The original commotion finally stopped. Old Zhao's family members all had different thoughts. Several sisters-in-law lamented that it was not easy to be a woman. If a man did not dote on or love her, it would indeed be troublesome. Just like now, it was not good for either side to have a peaceful separation. Zhao Yiner's lips curled into a smile. She was very appreciative of Li Chuiying's behavior. Her second aunt had finally toughened up for once. The way she turned and left was simply too cool. As a woman, sometimes she had to be bold and do some things. Otherwise, she would be bullied, looked down upon, and suppressed by men. In fact, it would be a good thing if Li Chuiying really left a disgusting man like Zhao Wenshui. Although it would be a little late to escape the sea of suffering, it was better than not escaping at all. As long as she worked hard in the future, it was not impossible for her to live. Father, mother, all right. Let's not think about second brother and second sister-in-law's matter. Hurry and sit down to eat. My in-laws are still here. We've delayed the meal. Zhao Baoshan sighed. Only then did he react. Indeed, this kind of thing in front of outsiders this year would only make them a laughing stock. The most important thing today was to entertain the first branch's in-laws. Instead, because of other things, they kept others waiting and did not eat. Zhao Baoshan tugged the corner of his mouth and revealed a smile. He called out to Zhou Damei and Old Man Jin and said, "In-laws, we've made you laugh. Hurry and eat. You must be hungry, right?" Zhou Damei smiled embarrassedly and said, it's fine. Old Man Jin also waved his hand and said, "Yes, it's fine. We're not hungry." Zhou Damei and Old Man Jin were just talking. In fact, they were already hungry and craving for food. Looking at the table full of good food and wine, they originally thought that they could eat and drink immediately. They did not expect that such a troublesome matter would delay them for so long. As outsiders, they naturally had no interest in interfering. After all, it had nothing to do with them. Zhou Damei and Old Man Jin only wanted to eat, while Old Man Jin only wanted to drink. After all, they couldn't just let the old Zhao's family cause trouble while their family ate and drank by themselves. Although the dishes on the table were indeed for their family. We've made a fool of ourselves in front of our in-laws. Let's drink more today. Old Man Jin chuckled. It's fine. It's normal for the house to be noisy. Zhao Baoshan sighed and didn't want to talk about it. After eating and drinking, Feng Zhangxia called out to the other families and said, "Today is the first time our future daughter-in-law has come to our house. As an elder, we should give her some red packets as a token of our appreciation." Feng Zhangxia opened her mouth to ask everyone to give red packets to Jinju. If it weren't for the red packets, Feng Zhangxia wouldn't have been so attentive to call the other families to eat together and cook so many dishes to entertain them. This was the traditional custom of the countryside. When a daughter-in-law came to visit for the first time, the future mother-in-law and relatives in the family had to give red packets. In other words, the other families in old Zhao's family had to give some red packets as a festive occasion. Hearing that it was money, the other families didn't say anything. After all, when they got married in the future, it was the same. Chapter 1527. Qian Zurio added, "Sister-in-law, I'll go to the house to get some. But we're poor, so I'll just give you a little. Don't think it's too little." Feng Zhangxia naturally thought that the more the others gave, the better. This would make them look good. But since Qian Zurio said so, he was too embarrassed to say anything else, so he nodded and said, "Okay, it's nothing. How can I dislike it? It's your kind intentions." Qian Zurio smiled and replied, "That's good. As long as you don't dislike it, sister-in-law." Feng Zhangxia secretly cursed his third sister-in-law for being too stingy. They weren't poor, so what if she gave him a little more? His third brother had drunk so much wine at his house in the afternoon. The wine added up to a lot of money. The third and fourth branches agreed, but the second branch didn't say anything. Feng Zhangxia looked at Zhao Wenshui and said, "Second brother, why aren't you saying anything? Can't you at least give me a red packet?" Zhao Wenshui muttered in his heart. Why should he give? He didn't have a single cent on hand. What else could he give? Not only did he have no money, but he also owed Hua Chunhua a lot. He didn't even have the money to buy medicine. He had to borrow it from Huachenhua. Zhao Wenshui replied with a bitter face, "Sister-in-law, after my butt was injured, I used all my money to buy medicine. Now I owe a lot of money. I don't have a single cent on hand, so I can't take it out." Feng Zhangxia frowned and looked a little displeased. She didn't know if Zhao Wenshui really didn't have any money or if it was just an excuse. "Second brother, you drank a lot today and ate a lot of food. Our family can't treat you for nothing. Tianhu's marriage is a big deal. If you don't even give it to him as his uncle, you'll be laughed at by your in-laws. How about this? You don't have to give more. Just give me 50 copper coins. If you really can't take it out, second brother, you can borrow from mother again. Mother will definitely lend it to you." Zhao Wenshui's face was bitter. But what? Second brother, do you not want to take out the money?" "No, sister-in-law, how could that be? I really don't have any money. Mother has already borrowed a lot of money. If you want to borrow more money, mother will definitely not give it to you. Then I'll lend it to you. Remember to return it to me later." Zhao Wenshui was rendered speechless by Feng Zhangxia. It seemed that if he didn't pay up today, Feng Zhangxia wouldn't give up. Zhao Wenshui had no choice but to say, Okay. Sister-in-law, can you lend me 50 copper coins as my red packet? I'll pay you back when I have money." Only then was Feng Zhangxia satisfied. "All right, second brother, let's do it this way. You must remember this 50 copper coins later. Don't drag it out and refuse to give it to me." Zhao Wenshui replied helplessly, Yes, sister-in-law. Don't worry. If I have money, I'll definitely give it to you." "All right, that'll do." Qian Red Date had already run into the house. She took out 30 copper coins and handed it to Feng Zhangxia. Feng Zhangxia glanced at it and estimated how much it was. She felt very uncomfortable and secretly scolded Qian Red Date for being stingy. Couldn't she give more? How could she have the nerve to take out such a small amount? Liang Jinxiao went into the house and took out some money, 66 copper coins. Lulu de Shun was an auspicious number. It was a festive number. Chapter 1528. She had asked for 50 copper coins from the second household, so the fourth household had given her the least. Feng Zhangxia's mouth twitched, but she couldn't say anything. She felt that the third household had taken advantage of this meal. Her food and wine added up to more than 30 copper coins. She had suffered a huge loss. If something like this happened again, she wouldn't ask the fourth household to join in. Qian Zhuzhui didn't know that Feng Zhangxia thought it was too little. Actually, 30 copper coins was more than enough. Their family had just separated from the main household, so they had a lot of things to buy. Moreover, they were thinking of building their own house and moving out like the third household. They had to be frugal now so that they could save money to build a house. Feng Zhangxia took the money and went to Jinju. She also took a red packet of 188 copper coins and handed it to Jinju. This is a red packet from me and your aunts. Keep it." Jinju was a little embarrassed and didn't reach out to take it. Zhou Damei quickly patted Jinju and said, "Ju, why are you doing this? Hurry up and take it. What's there to be embarrassed about?" Jinju hesitated for a moment, then slowly reached out and took the red packet from Feng Zhangxia. Seeing that Jinju had taken it, Zhou Damei pretended to be polite and said to Feng Zhangxia, "In-law, you're too polite. It's Juer's fortune to marry into your family." Feng Zhangxia smiled and replied, "It's my pleasure." Haha. For a moment, old Zhao's house was lively. After lunch, Zhao Tianhu sent the Jin family back. Old Zhao's family members went back to their own rooms. Zhao Yin cleared the dishes and started washing them. She let Liang Jinxiao carry Tian. Liang Jinxiao carried Tian and swayed back and forth. After feeding Tian and the hot weather, she felt sleepy. Soon Tian fell asleep. When Liang Jinxiao saw this, he carried Tian back to the courtyard and put her on the bed to sleep. Liang Jinxiao walked out and said to Zhao Yuner, "Yuner, give it to mother. Mother will wash it." Zhao Yuner waved her hand and said, "No need, mother, it's almost done." "Sai, all right then, you wash it." Liang Jinxiao clutched her chest. She suddenly felt nauseous and wanted to vomit. She said to Zhao Yuner, "Yuner, the sour plum soup you made last time was not bad. Can I make some more for you? Mother wants to drink that. Zhao Yuner nodded and said, Okay, I'll get some when we get back. Making sour plum soup was not a big deal, and it should be ready in a short while. It just so happened that Liang Jinxiao wanted to drink it, and the other men in the house happened to be at work. It was indeed a good idea to give some sour plum soup on such a hot day. Liang Jinxiao nodded and said, Okay. It's such a hot day, it's good to drink something cold. Zhao Yuner muttered. Liang Jinxiao laughed and said, It's not that I want to drink it because of the volume, but I think that the sour taste is good. I don't know what's wrong with me recently, but I just want to drink something sour. I always feel that eating something sour will make me feel better. Zhao Yuner frowned and asked, You want to eat something sour? Yes. And I feel uncomfortable, like I want to vomit. Vomit? Yes. Mother, are you sick? Zhao Yuner asked with concern. Chapter 1529. Is that so? Do you want to see a doctor? Liang Jinxiao shook her head and said, There's no need. It's too troublesome. Moreover, it would cost some money to get a doctor to see her. She had to save the money. Zhao Tianan was married, and there were many things that needed money at home. Seeing Liang Jinxiao's insistence, Zhao Yuner did not say much. She only said, Mother, if you're not feeling well, don't push yourself. We have to see a doctor when it's time. Liang Jinxiao nodded heavily and said, Yuner, I know. If I can't, I won't push myself. That's good. As they spoke, Liang Jinxiao suddenly clutched her chest and began to retch again. Zhao Yuner saw that the situation was a little serious and said very seriously, Let me see. Don't drag it out. Let the doctor come over and take a look. I'll go get him now. Liang Jinxiao pulled Zhao Yuner back. She wanted to say that there was no need, but Zhao Yuner retorted, Mother, I told you not to push yourself. It's not troublesome to get a doctor to take a look. Don't stop me. Liang Jinxiao had no choice but to say, Oh, okay then. This time, Zhao Yuner would probably have to spend money again. Liang Jinxiao felt bad about it. At this time, Qian Zhozha came out of the fourth house. Seeing that Liang Jinxiao was not feeling well, she went up to her and asked. After Liang Jinxiao explained her symptoms, Qian Zhozha covered her mouth and laughed. Third sister-in-law, are you pregnant? Isn't this what pregnancy looks like? Liang Jinxiao was stunned. She had not thought of that at all. After all, she was already so old and had given birth to a few children. She should not be pregnant. This can't be, Qian Zhozha laughed and said. Why can't it be? Third sister-in-law, it's not like there aren't any pregnant women at your age. Liang Jinxiao was so surprised that he didn't know what to say. If she were to tell others that she was pregnant at this age, she didn't know if others would laugh at her. After all, her two daughters were already so old. Her eldest daughter had just gotten pregnant. If she were to get pregnant, wouldn't she be giving birth to a child with her own daughter? Just thinking about it made him feel a little embarrassed. When Zhao Yuner heard Qian Zhozha's words, she felt that it was very possible. Mother, I think so too. You look like you're pregnant. Liang Jinxiao wasn't sure either. I don't think so. I'm already 40 years old. Maybe it's just a coincidence. I've never seen a 40-year-old pregnant woman in the village. Seeing that Liang Jinxiao was still unwilling to accept the truth, it was kind of cute. All right, Mother, I'll call the doctor over. Won't we know once the doctor comes over? Liang Jinxiao nodded and said, That's true. Let's get a doctor to confirm it. If she was pregnant, then she would have to be more careful in the future. She couldn't work as casually as she was now. She couldn't do heavy physical work when she was pregnant. Zhao Yuner said, Mother, then you should rest. I'll go and call Dr. Sun over now. Liang Jinxiao responded, Okay, go ahead. Okay. Zhao Yuner ran quickly to Dr. Sun's house. When she arrived at Dr. Sun's house, she met an acquaintance, Ma Xiaofeng. Dr. Sun and Ma Xiaofeng were outside. The two of them were chatting about something. They were some distance away from Dr. Sun's house. Chapter 1530. Zhao Yun'er's curiosity drove her to move in the direction of the two people. However, she was careful not to let them discover her. According to her sixth sense, it should be something shameful. Otherwise, how could the two people run to such a secluded place? When Zhao Yun'er went over, she saw Ma Xiaofeng begging Dr. Sun. Dr. Sun, please save my mother. If you don't save my mother will really die. Ma Xiaofeng was also forced to find the village doctor because she had no other choice. Although she had saved enough money these days and felt that it was enough, the doctor in Yang City refused to follow her to the countryside. Especially when he heard that he had to treat a woman's butt injury, he was even more unwilling. How could a man like him help a woman treat her butt? If this spread out, wouldn't he be laughed at? Therefore, no matter how much money he was given, he was unwilling to take on this job. Anyway, he didn't lack this money, so there was naturally no need for him to make a trip. No matter how long Ma Xiaofeng begged, no doctor in Yang City was willing to come and treat Qian Chuanxiu. Ma Xiaofeng saw that if a doctor didn't take a look at Qian Chuanxiu's, but the injury would really be fatal. Therefore, she had to think of a way. As long as a doctor was willing to help, she would try her best. She couldn't wait any longer. After all, Qian Chuanxiu's injury couldn't be delayed for too long. Only now did she come to see if Dr. Sun could treat her. Zhao Yun'er frowned. At this moment, she could understand why Ma Xiaofeng dragged Dr. Sun to such a secluded place to talk. If Dr. Sun's wife saw them, Ma Xiaofeng would probably be driven away by Dr. Sun's wife before she could talk to Dr. Sunday. Dr. Sun sighed and said, "Little Feng, it's not that I don't want to help, but I can't help at all. You also know that my wife is very powerful. If she knows that I treated your mother's illness, the family will be in chaos. AI, don't make things difficult for me. Hurry up and go back. Don't come to me next time to avoid being misunderstood." Ma Xiaofeng suddenly became anxious. She pulled Dr. Sun's sleeve and said, "Doctor, you can ask for more for the treatment. As long as you can treat my mother's injury, I'm willing to go bankrupt. Dr. Sun, I beg you to save my mother's life. It's said that saving a life is better than building a 7-floor pagoda. In the future, my mother and I will remember your life-saving grace and repay you well." Dr. Sun's heart, when he saw Ma Xiaofeng. But when he thought of his wife, he shook his head secretly. It was better not to get involved in this muddy water. He didn't want to save Qian Chuanxiu's life only to lose his own life. His wife's head, when she found out the truth. "Little Feng, this isn't a matter of money. It's not that this old man doesn't want to help you, but there's really no other way." Dr. Sun. Ma Xiaofeng directly knelt on the ground and kowtowed several times to Dr. Sunday. "Dr. Sun, other than you, I don't know who else I can call to save my mother. You also know that my father passed away when I was very young. If my mother is gone, then won't my brother and I become orphans?" Chapter 1531. Dr. Sun hurriedly helped Ma Xiaofeng up from the ground. Okay, little Feng, don't blame me. Hurry up and get up. Aren't you making things difficult for me? If I could help, I would have done it long ago. I have no choice. If you want to ask, you have to ask my wife, not me. If she allows me to go, I will naturally go." Ma Xiaofeng was helped up, and there were still tears hanging from the corners of her eyes. Zhao Yun'er watched from the side and suddenly felt that Ma Xiaofeng was a little pitiful. After all, Qian Chuanxiu was her mother. Now that Qian Chuanxiu's injury was so serious that she was about to die, Ma Xiaofeng, as her daughter, was naturally worried, so it was understandable that she came to ask Dr. Sunday. It seemed that Ma Xiaofeng was a filial daughter. However, Zhao Yun'er didn't have a trace of sympathy for Qian Chuanxiu's situation. After all, Qian Chuanxiu's situation today was caused by her. If she hadn't been fooled by Zhao Wenshui and hooked up with Zhao Wenshui, she wouldn't be like today, lying in bed and about to die. Ma Xiaofeng wiped her tears. How could she beg Dr. Sun's wife? Dr. Sun's wife was very famous in the village. She was very shrewish and not easy to talk to. Even if she begged, she would be asking for trouble. Not only might she not get what she wanted, but she might also be scolded by that woman. After thinking about it, Ma Xiaofeng decided not to beg Dr. Sun's wife, but to beg Dr. Sunday. Because Dr. Sun was kind-hearted and easier to talk to, it would definitely be easier. Dr. Sun, I'm not asking you to help my mother openly. You just have to go there secretly. You definitely won't let my aunt know. Ma Xiaofeng choked and said. Dr. Sun still shook his head. No, what if I'm caught? The consequences will only be more serious. Little phone girl, that woman of mine must have skinned me alive. She's very scary. You don't have to beg me, just let me live. There are plenty of doctors out there. Can't you go and ask for more? But please, I beg you. Dr. Sun was about to turn around and leave when Ma Xiaofeng suddenly grabbed Dr. Sunday, seeing that no matter what he said, Dr. Sun would not agree. Dr. Sun didn't care about money and wasn't moved, but what about beauty? There were two things that men couldn't escape from. One was money, and the other was beauty. She had no choice but to use her beauty to test if Dr. Sun would be moved. With this thought in mind, Ma Xiaofeng gritted her teeth and went into Dr. Sun's arms. Dr. Sun, if you're willing to save my mother, I'm willing to give you my body. I beg you, just save my mother. Dr. Sun was stunned. He never thought that Ma Xiaofeng would do this. Zhao Yuner, who was secretly watching from the side, was even more shocked by the scene in front of her. This Ma Xiaofeng really dared to do anything. Or rather, she was really shameless. She could even say such words. Zhao Yuner felt that her perception had been refreshed. Although Ma Xiaofeng had her own helplessness, she shouldn't have used this method. If others knew about this, Ma Xiaofeng would probably be drowned in the spittle of the villagers like Qian Chuanxiu. Dr. Sun hurriedly pushed Ma Xiaofeng away, but Ma Xiaofeng hugged him even tighter. Chapter 1532. Although Dr. Sun said so, his tone was soft and he didn't say anything more about Ma Xiaofeng. Ma Xiaofeng raised her head and blew into Dr. Sun's ear. Dr. Sun, I really don't understand why a capable and skilled person like you is afraid of your own woman. As the saying goes, if you marry a chicken, follow the chicken. If you marry a dog, follow the dog. A woman should follow the 3 obedience and 4 virtues. She should follow her husband at home and follow her son when her husband dies. So you are a man at home, so you should be the first. You should listen to whatever Auntie says. Why are you controlled by Auntie everywhere? Isn't it too sullen to be a man? After Ma Xiaofeng finished speaking, Dr. Sun fell into silence. Thinking about it, he felt that Ma Xiaofeng's words were very reasonable. In the village, which family didn't listen to men? Basically, men were the masters of the house. Women couldn't act rashly in front of men. However, his family was different. His wife was completely suppressed by him. She was indeed a coward. His medical skills were good and he was a doctor. He was very respected in the village and could earn a lot of money. His wife could live a good life with him. Everything at home was earned by him. Why didn't his wife listen to him? Why did his wife care about what he wanted to do? Ma Xiaofeng saw that Dr. Sun was lost in thought, and knew that her words had entered Dr. Sun's ears. She continued to fan the flames and said, Dr. Sun, if you go and help my mother, I will give you my body and serve you well. I am so young, so I will naturally be more comfortable than Auntie. If you treat my mother and Auntie finds out, it doesn't matter much. At that time, if Auntie dares to act rashly in front of you, you can say that you will divorce her. Anyway, she can't leave you. I promise that she will be obedient. She won't dare to do anything to you. Dr. Sun increasingly felt that Ma Xiaofeng's words made sense. Yes. If that woman dared to act rashly in front of him again, he would divorce her. Without him, would that woman be able to live a good life? He didn't dare to say anything on normal days. He was too obedient to his wife, and it had become a habit. That was why his wife had to control him. Ma Xiaofeng exerted even more strength. She endured the nausea in her heart and kissed Dr. Sun's face with a smack. She mumbled softly, Dr. Sun, don't you want me? Dr. Sun swallowed his saliva. How could he not want it? Every man liked young and beautiful women, and he was no exception. However, he was usually controlled by his wife, so he never had the thought of going out to find other women. He had heard that many men in the village would go to the brothels in town to have fun with young and beautiful women after they became rich. Moreover, These men also said that the feeling of playing with young and beautiful women was much better than playing with their own wives. Moreover, these women were flirtatious and unrestrained enough. They were able to enjoy themselves to the fullest every time. The old women at home could not compare to them. When Dr. Sun thought of this, he couldn't control himself. Ma Xiaofeng's faint body fragrance drifted into his nose. Dr. Sun's hand involuntarily touched Ma Xiaofeng's body. Little Feng girl. Dr. Sun, how about it? Can you promise me? Save my mother, and I can guarantee that I will serve you comfortably. Chapter 1533. Even a hero would be sad, let alone a beauty. Dr. Sun didn't feel guilty when he thought about how the other men in the village didn't do the same. If it were those men, Wu Jin would have agreed even more readily than him. For so many years, he had tolerated his wife at home. He had already treated her well enough. Seeing that Dr. Sun nodded in agreement, Ma Xiaofeng's mouth curled up into a smug smile. She knew that Dr. Sun would give in the end. Men were all the same. They couldn't get past a beauty. Although Dr. Sun was an old man and she would naturally feel disgusted if he did something to her, Ma Xiaofeng felt that it was nothing when she thought of her mother. As long as her mother was fine, she was willing to do anything. Anyway, this body was no longer a virgin. It didn't matter even if she gave it to Dr. Sunday. With her eyes closed, it wouldn't take much effort. She could even save a sum of money to save her mother. It would be a profit. Dr. Sun, quickly go and see my mother. Ma Xiaofeng pulled Dr. Sun and said impatiently. Dr. Sun pulled Ma Xiaofeng back and said, Little Feng, don't worry. Let's get this done first. After we're done, we'll go and see your mother's injuries. Ma Xiaofeng knew what Dr. Sun meant. Sure enough, men were all the same. They were all impatient. Since this would happen sooner or later, it wouldn't hurt to give it to Dr. Sun earlier. Ma Xiaofeng nodded and said, Okay. Dr. Sun will listen to you. After you're done, you'll have to see my mother. Dr. Sun hurriedly responded, Don't worry, little Feng. I'm a man of my words. I will never go back on my words. Okay. Dr. Sun rushed towards Ma Xiaofeng and began to undress Ma Xiaofeng. Ma Xiaofeng hurriedly stopped Dr. Sun and said to Dr. Sun, Dr. Sun, don't be anxious. Let's take it slow. This place isn't safe. Let's go inside so that we won't be discovered. It won't be good if we're seen. Dr. Sun hurriedly responded, That's right. Little Feng, you're right. We have to go in quickly, so that we won't be discovered. Yes. Before Ma Xiaofeng pulled Dr. Sun into the grass, she looked around to make sure that there was no one around. Zhao Yuner hurriedly hid her body, not letting Ma Xiaofeng find out. However, Zhao Yuner found it hard to digest what had just happened. It was simply unimaginable that Dr. Sun was also such a lecherous man. Sure enough, all men in the world were the same. They couldn't leave the word lust. An old man like Dr. Sun shouldn't even think about doing that kind of thing. Zhao Yuner didn't know what to say other than being amazed. It was such a coincidence that she often ran into these dirty things in the village. Previously, they bumped into Zhao Wenshui and Qian Chuanxiu. This time they bumped into Ma Xiaofeng and Dr. Sunday. She could reluctantly accept Zhao Wenshui and Qian Chuanxiu. However, she couldn't accept Ma Xiaofeng and Dr. Sunday. After all, Dr. Sun was so old. The age gap between him and Ma Xiaofeng was too big. Did Ma Xiaofeng really not feel disgusted to do that kind of thing? In order to achieve her goal, Ma Xiaofeng dared to do anything. This kind of person was too terrifying. Chapter 1534. Zhao Yuner's heart couldn't calm down for a long time. She didn't know what to say. Anyway, at this time her impression of Ma Xiaofeng and Dr. Sun had plummeted. Flattery wouldn't work. Anyway, they weren't good people. The pitiful one was Dr. Sun's wife, Old Lady Sunday. She was cuckolded but didn't know about it. Before Zhao Yuner left, she heard a woman's moans coming from the grass. However, this voice was obviously deliberately lowered for fear of being heard. Otherwise it would probably be loud. Zhao Yuner's heart was filled with a kind of nausea. When she thought of an old man galloping on a teenage girl, she really couldn't accept it. In less than 5 minutes, there was no sound in the grass. It should be over. Although this doctor's son was lustful, he didn't seem to be very useful. He solved the matter so quickly. Perhaps it was because he was old and his physical strength wasn't as good as that of a young person. But since it was over so quickly, what was the fun in it? Dr. Sun couldn't control himself in the end. The two of them put on their clothes and came out of the grass again. Zhao Yun'er saw a smile on Dr. Sun's mouth and a satisfied look. As for Ma Xiaofeng, although she was smiling, there was a sense of disgust in her eyes. Zhao Yun'er could understand Ma Xiaofeng's mood. After all, she was done by an old man. It would be strange if she didn't feel disgusted. Dr. Sun, can you go to my house to see my mother now? Ma Xiaofeng couldn't wait to ask, for fear that Dr. Sun would go back on his word. Dr. Sun nodded and said, "And I'll go now. You go back first. I'll go home and get a medicine box before I go over." Ma Xiaofeng nodded and responded, "Okay, Dr. Sunday. Then you have to come over quickly." If she went with Dr. Sun, it would probably arouse suspicion and attention. Therefore, it was much safer to let Dr. Sun go to her house later. "Don't worry, little Feng." Ma Xiaofeng then walked in the direction of her home, while Dr. Sun hummed a little tune, and also went back to his home. Seeing Dr. Sun's leisurely appearance, it was as if he was still reminiscing about what had just happened. The truth was just as Zhao Yun'er thought. It was Dr. Sun's first time meeting a young and beautiful girl at such an old age. The feeling was really good, much better than his wife. His wife's lower part was already soft, and there was no feeling at all. How could it be as comfortable as Ma Xiaofeng's? After he was done, Dr. Sun felt a little unsatisfied. It was a pity that he couldn't control it. Otherwise, he would have held on for a while longer. Zhao Yun'er waited for Dr. Sun to arrive at her house, before she pretended not to know anything and walked out of the bushes. She also walked in the direction of Dr. Sun's house. She didn't care what Dr. Sun had done. She just wanted to ask Dr. Sun to go over and help her check her mother's condition to confirm whether she was pregnant or not. As for the rest, she would plan it slowly. This time, she would definitely make Ma Xiaofeng suffer. She wanted to see if Ma Xiaofeng would continue to be so cheap in the future. Zhao Yun'er arrived at Dr. Sun's house. Dr. Sun's wife was working in the yard. Zhao Yun'er walked forward and found that old lady Sun was chopping wood. Chapter 1535. It was no wonder that old Madam Sun was so fierce in the village because she had strength. It was estimated that few women in the village could beat old lady Sun in a fight. Compared to old Madam Sun, Dr. Sun was much thinner and weaker. Standing in front of old Madam Sun, he looked so weak. Even a man like him couldn't beat old Madam Sunday. It was normal for him to be suppressed by old Madam Sunday. Hio. Old lady Sun continued to chop the wood. When Dr. Sun came back, he just glanced at old Madam Sun faintly. He didn't even think about going forward to help old Madam Sunday. This was because Dr. Sun knew that even if he wanted to help, he was powerless. After all, he wasn't as strong as old Madam Sunday. Of course, Dr. Sun felt that it was natural for old Madam Sun to do these chores. He was busy earning money outside, and old Madam Sun had to take care of these chores at home. When old Madam Sun saw Zhao Yun'er coming over, she stopped what she was doing and asked Zhao Yun'er, "Girl, what are you doing at my house?" Zhao Yun'er smiled at old Madam Sun and said, "Auntie, I'm here to ask Dr. Sun to go to my house to check on my mother." Old Madam Sun asked casually, "What's wrong with your mother? Is she not feeling well?" Zhao Yun'er shook her head and said, "That's not it. My mother has been feeling a little uncomfortable recently. She wants to vomit. Maybe she is pregnant, but I'm not sure. So I want Dr. Sun to go over and check if she is pregnant or something." When old Madam Sun heard this, she quickly nodded and said, "So that's the case. Then let my old man go and take a look. If your mother is really pregnant, having a child at such an old age is a joyous thing." Yes. I'll have to trouble Dr. Sun to make a trip." Old Madam Sun smiled and said, "It's okay, let my old man go and take a look." "Thank you, Auntie." You little girl. There's no need to be so polite." Dr. Sun just happened to go to the house to take a medicine box, and was about to go to Ma Xiaofeng's house to take a look. Originally, he was afraid that his wife would ask him about the situation. Now that Zhao Yuner had come over, he could say that he was going to see Zhao Yuner's mother. After visiting Liang Jinxiao, he secretly went to visit Qian Chuanxiu. This way, his wife would not ask about the details, and naturally he would not give himself away. Dr. Sun came out of the house happily and walked to Zhao Yuner. He said to Zhao Yuner, "Little Yuner, if your mother is pregnant at this age, it will be a happy event. Let's go quickly. Take me to have a look." Zhao Yuner glanced at Dr. Sun and saw that Dr. Sun was putting on airs again. He looked very serious, but behind his back, he was the same as those disgusting men. Facing Dr. Sun's face, Zhao Yuner suddenly felt very disgusted. However, she had to continue to endure it. After all, she still hoped that Dr. Sun would take a look at her mother. "Okay, Dr. Sun, sorry to trouble you." Zhao Yuner pretended to be polite. Dr. Sun waved his hand and said, "It's okay, it's no trouble." Zhao Yuner came at the right time this time. Not only did he not feel that it was troublesome, but he was also grateful to Zhao Yuner for coming. "Then let's go, Dr. Sun." "Okay." With that, the two of them walked in the direction of old Zhao's house one after another. Chapter 1536. Qian Zhouzhe and Liang Jinxiao brought out a stool, and the two sisters-in-law sat in the yard and chatted. When they talked about something happy, they even covered their mouths and laughed. Waiting for Dr. Sun to come over, Qian Zhouzhe said to Liang Jinxiao, "Third sister-in-law, look, Dr. Sun is here. Let him take a look at you quickly." Liang Jinxiao responded, but she suddenly felt a little nervous. Dr. Sun came forward and greeted Liang Jinxiao with a smile. Then, he asked Liang Jinxiao to stretch out her hand while he took Liang Jinxiao's pulse to check the situation. Liang Jinxiao cooperated and stretched out her hand. Dr. Sun put one hand on Liang Jinxiao's pulse. After a while, he withdrew his hand and said to Liang Jinxiao with a smile, "Congratulations, old Zhao's third daughter-in-law. You are indeed pregnant." After listening to Dr. Sun's words, Liang Jinxiao accepted the fact that she was pregnant. She was a little surprised and found it difficult to calm down. After all, it was amazing that she was pregnant at such an old age. Qian Zhouzhe smiled and said, "Third sister-in-law, I told you, you must be pregnant. Sure enough, you really are." Liang Jinxiao smiled and said, "Yes, I didn't expect to be pregnant with a baby. Sigh, I'm already 40 years old. If the child is born, won't it suffer with me? I won't be able to take care of it so well." Qian Zhouzhe patted Liang Jinxiao's shoulder and said, "Third sister-in-law, don't think so much. It definitely won't happen. Now that your family is in good condition, it's a blessing for the child to be born at this time. How can it suffer? If it was in the past, it probably wouldn't be able to eat and drink. Now that your family is in good condition, you can let the child eat and drink well. How great is that?" Zhao Yuner saw that Liang Jinxiao was worried about this matter, so she reassured Liang Jinxiao, "Mother, don't worry. Whether you give birth to a little brother or a little sister, I will definitely help take care of them. Just like what fourth aunt said, if they come to our third branch now, they will only enjoy happiness and won't suffer." Liang Jinxiao was amused by Qian Zizhao's and Zhao Yun. Okay, I'm relieved to hear you say that. Huh. Third sister-in-law, having a child at an old age is actually something that many people envy. Yes, mother. Since she's pregnant, we should keep her and raise her. You should be happy too. Don't look unhappy. Otherwise, the baby in your belly will think that you don't like him. Okay. Liang Jinxiao responded with a smile. However, Dr. Sun reminded her, "Although it's a happy thing that you're pregnant, young sister, I have to remind you that you're already so old. You have to take it easy when you're pregnant. You have to be careful when you're doing anything. Don't bump into anything or get hurt. Moreover, it's not easy to give birth at this age. You have to find an experienced midwife first. This way, if there's an accident during the birth, it'll be easier to deal with it." Dr. Sun's words were all advice. Liang Jinxiao listened and nodded. "Well, Dr. Sun, I'll remember all of this. Thank you." Dr. Sun waved his hand. "It's what I should do. You're welcome. By the way, your fetus is a little unstable. I'll give you a prescription to prevent miscarriage later. Just take some medicine and you'll be fine. You're old and can't be compared to those young girls. You must be careful. Chapter 1537. That's good. If there's nothing else, I'll go back first. Dr. Sun turned around and left. In fact, he couldn't wait to go to Ma Xiaofeng's house. Liang Jinxiao hurriedly called out to Dr. Sun, Dr. Sun, wait a minute. I haven't paid you the consultation fee yet. Why are you leaving? Dr. Sun was stunned and then said, It's okay. Forget about the consultation fee. This isn't considered an illness. I've also checked your pulse. It's a happy event. Liang Jinxiao said, Oh, Dr. Sun, how can I accept this? The money still has to be paid. You also want to be auspicious, don't you? So Liang Jinxiao took out 28 copper coins from his pocket and handed it to Dr. Sun. Come, Dr. Sun, take it. Don't be polite with me. Dr. Sun smiled. All right then, since you're so courteous, I'll accept it. Congratulations to you today. Haha, Dr. Sun, thank you too. Then I'll go first. Have a good rest. I'll get the medicine for you later. Okay, sorry to trouble you, Dr. Sun. Dr. Sun waved his hand, and Liang Jinxiao also waved his hand. Dr. Sun left the courtyard of old Zhao's house. Zhao Yin looked at Dr. Sun's back and thought for a while. Now it seemed that Dr. Sun was not bad. He was a good doctor. Although he couldn't control himself a little, it was still forgivable. However, Ma Xiaofeng deliberately seduced and used unscrupulous means, which still made Zhao Yin dislike her very much. Zhao Yin's eyes turned. If she let Ma Xiaofeng go this time, she might not be able to find such an opportunity in the future. Therefore, Zhao Yin didn't intend to let it go. The third branch was still immersed in joy. Liang Jinxiao no longer had those worries and began to like the child in her belly very much. She also wanted to give birth to a daughter in this pregnancy, just like Tiantian's child, well-behaved, sensible and pitiful. When people were old, they just liked to be with children. If they gave birth to another daughter, it would be good to pass the time. Qian Jue pulled Liang Jinxiao to sit down and said to Liang Jinxiao, Third sister-in-law, don't always stand. It's not good for the child in your belly. You should rest more when you get back. If there's anything, you can't do it yourself. If there's anything you need me to do, just tell me. Don't be polite with me. Liang Jinxiao smiled and said, I say, fourth sister-in-law, you are too nervous. It doesn't matter. We were pregnant at that time, and mother sent us to do a lot of work. I didn't see anything wrong with us. Third sister-in-law, what you said is wrong. At that time, when we were pregnant, we were still young. What could have happened? You're 40 years old now. Just like what Dr. Sun said, you have to be careful. Zhao Yin also said, Yes, mother, you have to pay attention. You can also let me do the chores at home. Anyway, you take care of the fetus. Don't touch the hard work, lest it affects the fetus and hurts the child in the belly. Seeing that Zhao Yin and Qian Jue were so nervous, Liang Jinxiao had to nod helplessly and said, Okay, don't worry. I will take care of myself later. If I can't do it, I won't force myself to do it. Hearing Liang Jinxiao's words, Zhao Yin was relieved. Mother, that's right. Give me a little sister or little brother later. Then, there will be someone to play with Tian. Chapter 1538. She was afraid that when she walked out with such a baby and was seen by others, they would mistakenly think that it was her grandson or granddaughter instead of her son or daughter. After all, it was indeed awkward to give birth at the age of 40. How could a mother give birth to a child with her daughter at the same time? Mother, this is good news. I'll inform father later. Father will definitely be happy when he hears it. Zhao Yin said with a smile. When your father comes back, I'll tell him quietly at night. I'm afraid that your eldest uncle and second uncle will laugh at me if they hear it. Mother, this is a happy event. What's there to laugh about? Well, there's nothing to laugh about, but mother still thinks that it's better to tell your father secretly. Zhao Yin respected Liang Jinxiao's decision. After all, This was a matter between Liang Jinxiao and Zhao Wenhua. Zhao Yun, and Liang Jinxiao talked for a while. In order not to delay the next thing, she said to Liang Jinxiao, "Mother, I'll send some eggs to Dr. Sun as a thank you to Dr. Sun today. Dr. Sun only asked for this little money, which is much less than usual. Let's be more generous." Liang Jinxiao felt that Zhao Yuner was right, so he responded, "Okay Yuner, you go and arrange it." "Well, okay mother, I'll send 10 eggs over." "Okay," Zhao Yuner said and went into the kitchen of the third branch. She took out 10 eggs and a basket and walked towards Dr. Sun's house. Zhao Yuner sent these 10 eggs, of course, not just for the eggs, but for the next plan. Zhao Yuner arrived at the courtyard of old Madame Sun's house. Old Madame Sun had already chopped the wood, and was now stacking the chopped wood together. "Auntie." Zhao Yuner walked over and called out. When old Madame Sun saw Zhao Yuner coming over again, she was a little confused. "Girl Yuner, why are you here again?" Zhao Yuner explained with a smile. "Just now, Dr. Sun took my mother's pulse, but he didn't ask for much. In order to express her gratitude, my mother asked me to send some eggs to Dr. Sun." Hearing this, old Madame Sun nodded and said, "So that's how it is. Haha, congratulations to your mother. She's so lucky to have a son at such an old age. There aren't many people like your mother in our village." Zhao Yuner also smiled and said, "Yes. You little girl, you could have just asked my old man to bring it back. Why did you have to personally deliver it?" Zhao Yuner smiled and explained, "I forgot at the beginning. It was only after Dr. Sun left that I remembered and hurriedly brought the eggs over." Old Madame Sun frowned and muttered in confusion, "Ah, but my old man didn't come back. Where did he go?" Zhao Yuner pretended to be surprised and asked, "Auntie, Dr. Sun didn't come back? He did leave from my house." "Then where did he go? Why didn't he go home all of a sudden?" Old Madame Sun was a suspicious person. Dr. Sun didn't come back directly at this time, so old Madame Sun began to let her imagination run wild. Zhao Yuner patted her head and said, "Auntie, I remember now. I was wondering why Dr. Sun didn't go home. He always went to the east of the village. Auntie, could it be that Dr. Sun went to treat someone else?" Old Madame Sun frowned. Usually, her old man would greet her wherever he went. Why didn't he greet her today? Chapter 1539. That damn old man wouldn't have gone to treat Qian Chuanxiu's injury, right? Qian Chuanxiu's home was at the east end of the village. There weren't many families in the village. Other than going to Qian Chuanxiu's place, Old Lady Sun couldn't think of anyone else Dr. Sun would treat. When she thought that Dr. Sun might have gone to treat Qian Chuanxiu's injury, Old Lady Sun was furious. That old man had recently been whispering in her ear that Qian Chuanxiu was pitiful. If no one treated Qian Chuanxiu's injury well, Qian Chuanxiu would probably lose her life. Now it seemed that the old man might really be soft-hearted and went to treat Qian Chuanxiu's injury. He was probably afraid that she wouldn't agree if she knew about it, so he went there secretly without telling her. Old Lady Sun felt like she couldn't vent her anger. She immediately picked up the axe on the ground and decided to go to Dr. Sun to settle the score. She wanted to ask this old man where he got the guts to go over there. Without her consent, he actually helped another woman's butt. It was simply too much. Zhao Yuner pretended to be puzzled as she looked at Old Lady Sun and asked, "Auntie, what's wrong with you?" Old Lady Sun said to Zhao Yuner, "Yuner girl, it's all thanks to you this time. Fortunately, you came over to remind me. Otherwise, I wouldn't have known. That damned old man must be hiding it from me and helping that widow Qian to treat her injuries. I'll go there and make a scene." Zhao Yuner saw that Old Lady Sun was waving the axe in her hand. It was a little scary, but it was probably because of this that she was able to see Ma Xiaofeng and Qian Chuanxiu. "Auntie, maybe not. Dr. Sun wouldn't do this, right? You made a scene before. Is Dr. Sun really so bold to go there and treat widow Qian's injury? If the people in the village knew about this, they would definitely laugh at him. I don't know what they would say behind his back." After Zhao Yuner said this, Old Lady Sun's face became even darker. If the people in the village knew about this, besides laughing at Dr. Sun, she would also be laughed at. It was a big deal for a man to look at a woman's butt. Old Lady Sun couldn't stand others pointing fingers at her. Most importantly, Old Lady Sun was afraid that Qian Chuanxue would seduce her husband after seducing Zhao Wenxue. After all, her man was helping Qian Chuanxue look at her buttocks. He was looking carefully. How could a man hold himself back when he saw a beautiful woman's buttocks? In order to prevent this kind of accident from happening, she had to stop Dr. Sun from going over. If he fell into Qian Chuanxue's trap, it was estimated that the Sun family would be in chaos. No, I have to hurry over and ask that old man where he got the guts to do this. He's treating my words like the wind passing through his ears. Old Lady Sun raised her axe and angrily ran in the direction of Ma Xiaofeng's house. Seeing Old Lady Sun like this, Zhao Yun'er's lips curled into a cold smile. In a while there would probably be another good show to watch. Of course she couldn't leave her out of this good show. Zhao Yun'er also quickly sped up and caught up with Old Lady Sun's back. At this time, Dr. Sun was indeed helping Qian Chuanxue look at her buttocks. Qian Chuanxue was lying on the bed at this time, motionless, as if she had lost her vitality. However, she was still alive and not really dead. Chapter 1540. After Dr. Sun saw it, he frowned. The situation was more serious than he had imagined. Fortunately, it wasn't untreatable. Ma Xiaofeng found him in time. If it was delayed any longer, even if Hua Tuo was alive, he probably wouldn't be able to cure Qian Chuanxue's butt. Dr. Sun sighed slightly and felt that it was really a sin. Thinking about how Widow Qian had almost lost half her life because of her relationship with Zhao Wenxue, it was a pity. How could such a beautiful widow get together with a man like Zhao Wenxue? Even if she wanted to find someone, she should find someone better, right? Of course, these were only Dr. Sun's thoughts. He didn't say it out loud. It was none of his business who Qian Chuanxue was with. Ma Xiaofeng stood aside. When she saw Dr. Sun frown after looking at her mother's butt, she knew that the situation was really serious. So she asked Dr. Sun, "Dr. Sun, can my mother's butt be saved?" Dr. Sun sighed. "With me here, of course she can be saved. It's just that it's a little troublesome to deal with. Fortunately, her life was saved in time. She should be able to recover after resting for a while." After listening to Dr. Sun's words, Ma Xiaofeng was relieved. This was good. As long as her mother's life could be saved, everything she did was worth it. Ma Xiaofeng came to Qian Chuanxue and said to her, "Mother, did you hear what Dr. Sun said? Dr. Sun said that you can still be saved, so mother, you must hold on." Qian Chuanxue still had some divine sense at this time. When she heard Ma Xiaofeng's words, she replied with difficulty, "Okay, Xiaofeng, mother will hold on." Ma Xiaofeng suddenly felt that her eyes were a little wet. She wanted to cry, so she wiped the corners of her eyes. Fortunately, everything was saved in time. Ma Xiaofeng really couldn't imagine what would happen to her and her brother if Qian Chuanxue died. They would be even more pitiful by then. Dr. Sun stared at Qian Chuanxue's butt and examined it. Then he said, "I'm almost done. This bottle needs to be applied first. I'll get some medicine later. However, ordinary medicine doesn't seem to work. I'll go to Sun City tomorrow and get some more effective medicine before coming back. Although it will cost more money, your mother's butt must be treated properly. Otherwise, it will really be dangerous." Ma Xiaofeng quickly nodded and said, "Dr. Sun, I don't understand these things, but you do. I'll follow your arrangements." Dr. Sun responded, "All right, I'll get the medicine for you later. You should be fine after applying the medicine properly. So don't worry too much. Heaven will help the worthy." After Ma Xiaofeng heard this, she was even more grateful to Dr. Sunday. If it wasn't for Dr. Sun this time, his mother might have died. Ma Xiaofeng knelt in front of Dr. Sun and kowtowed several times to Dr. Sunday. "Dr. Sun, thank you. Thank you for saving my mother's life. Xiaofeng will never be able to repay you in the future. I will do my best to do what I can." Dr. Sun looked at Ma Xiaofeng's pretty little face and smiled wretchedly. "Xiaofeng, what are you talking about? I can't bear to let you do any hard work. Just like today, you just have to serve me a few more times. Ma Xiaofeng bit her lower lip. Although she was a little unwilling, she had to satisfy all of Dr. Sun's requests before her mother recovered. Chapter 1541. Dr. Sun looked at Ma Xiaofeng with great satisfaction. He felt that Ma Xiaofeng was very sensible. After handing the medicine to Ma Xiaofeng, he packed up his medicine box, got up and said, "Okay, little Feng, your mother's injury is almost done. I have to go back quickly. Otherwise, my wife will definitely find out." Ma Xiaofeng quickly responded, Okay. Dr. Sun, you can go back. I won't keep you here. I'll send you off now." Okay. The two of them went out of Ma Xiaofeng's house one after another. When they were outside the house and there was no one around, Dr. Sun became more unscrupulous. He hugged Ma Xiaofeng and whispered in Ma Xiaofeng's ear, "Little Feng, your mother's injury has been treated. She should be fine. Tomorrow, I still want to do that with you. How about we meet at the usual place?" Ma Xiaofeng responded shyly, "Okay, Dr. Sunday. I'll listen to you. We can meet whenever and wherever you want." The smile on Dr. Sun's face became wider. The feeling of having a beauty in his arms was really good. Seeing that he had to leave now, Dr. Sun was a little reluctant. He kissed Ma Xiaofeng's face and said, "Little Feng, I'll leave first. You don't have to send me too far. Just here is fine." "Okay, take care." "Haha, I'm fine." The smile on Dr. Sun's face was bright. However, when he turned around to leave, the smile on his face suddenly froze. Because when Dr. Sun turned around, he saw Old Lady Sunday. Moreover, Old Lady Sun was holding an axe and glaring at him angrily. Old Madam Sun saw everything that happened just now. Old Lady Sun was originally afraid that Dr. Sun would be seduced and confused by Widow Qian. She didn't expect that it wasn't Widow Qian this time, but Widow Qian's daughter. This old man was actually hugging Ma Xiaofeng, hugging and kissing her in broad daylight. He was too shameless. Not only did Ma Xiaofeng not refuse, but she also responded with a smile. Old Madam Sun cursed in her heart. This Qian Chuanxia was a piece of trash, and her daughter was the same. She had learned all her seductive skills. Of all the people she could seduce, she had to seduce her old man. Don't you find it disgusting that there's such a big age difference? When Ma Xiaofeng saw old Empress Dowager Sun again, she was also frightened. Naturally, she didn't want her relationship with Dr. Sun to be seen by others. If the villagers knew about this, she would be scolded and laughed at to death. Dr. Sun was scared out of his wits. He quickly said to old Madam Sun, "Old woman, listen to me." Old Madam Sun snorted. "Listen to you? What else do you have to say, old man? What do you want to explain to me? Could it be that what I saw wasn't real?" Dr. Sun choked for a moment and felt very guilty. You damn old man, you're too shameless. You were actually seduced by a little girl. You're already so old, yet you're still lusting after her." Old Madam Sun scolded loudly. With such a shout, her voice spread far and wide. It wouldn't be long before many villagers came to watch. Dr. Sun's face suddenly turned red. "I say, old woman, don't make a fuss. It won't be good if others see this." Chapter 1542. Dr. Sun felt even more ashamed after being scolded. This old woman really didn't intend to give him any face. With such a ruckus, he would be finished in the village in the future. How could he raise his head in public? I didn't look after you for a quarter of an hour and you became like this." Old Lady Sun scolded again and then turned her gaze to Ma Xiaofeng. Ma Xiaofeng was startled by Old Lady Sun's terrifying gaze. She was somewhat afraid of Old Lady Sunday. The last time Old Lady Sun came to her house and made a ruckus, she was hurt quite badly. Her thin arms and legs were completely useless in front of Old Lady Sunday. Old Lady Sun rushed to Ma Xiaofeng angrily and slapped Ma Xiaofeng's face. "You vixen, you only know how to learn from your mother. You actually learned how to seduce people. You could have seduced anyone, but you actually seduced my old man. Today, I will let you see how powerful I am. Let's see if you still dare to do it in the future." Ma Xiaofeng was slapped in the face by Old Lady Sun, and suddenly felt dizzy. The half of her face that was slapped was also burning with pain. However, in front of Old Lady Sun, she didn't dare to say a word because she knew that the more she said, the fiercer Old Lady Sun would hit her. She couldn't beat Old Lady Sun, so wouldn't she be looking for trouble in vain? She wasn't that stupid. However, after Old Lady Sun slapped Ma Xiaofeng, she was still a little unwilling. She grabbed Ma Xiaofeng's hair and pulled her back and forth. She started to lecture Ma Xiaofeng. "You bitch, I will teach you how to be a person now. You dare to have ideas about anyone, just like your rotten mother. Our village should kick people like you and your mother out. You really spoil the atmosphere of the village. Later on, all the men in our village will have to be on guard against you and your daughter, lest they be seduced by you too." Dr. Sun watched from the side as his wife bullied Ma Xiaofeng. And Ma Xiaofeng was powerless to resist Old Lady Sun's hands. Her very weak appearance made Dr. Sun's heart ache. After all, Ma Xiaofeng was his wife. Dr. Sun couldn't bear to see Ma Xiaofeng being wronged like this, so he couldn't help but step forward to defend Ma Xiaofeng. He said to Old Madam Sun, "You woman, stop. Do you have to kill someone?" Old Madam Sun stared at Dr. Sun and then said disdainfully, "Kill someone? How could this be? This fetus was very tough. It wouldn't die in a few hits. Even if she killed him, it would be fine. Who asked him to be so cheap? He actually knew how to do such a despicable thing. He didn't learn good things at such a young age. Now this old woman will teach him how to be a person again. It can be considered as getting rid of evil for the people." As Old Madam Sun spoke, she grabbed Ma Xiaofeng's head and knocked it against a big tree at the side. Ma Xiaofeng's head was suddenly knocked open and blood flowed out. And Ma Xiaofeng was directly stunned by Old Madam Sun's beating. Zhao Yun watched from not far away and finally saw Old Madam Sun's way of beating people. Sure enough, she didn't show any mercy at all. Ma Xiaofeng was really pitiful after being beaten by Old Madam Sunday. And Old Madam Sun was still continuing. Zhao Yin'er had no sympathy for Ma Xiaofeng in her heart. Since she was a bitch, she had to bear the consequences of being a bitch. In the 21st century, it was very common for the first wife to beat the mistress. Chapter 1543. After all, he had a tender heart for the fairer sex. He couldn't bear to see Ma Xiaofeng being bullied so miserably by Old Lady Sunday. What would he do if Ma Xiaofeng was tormented to death? Okay, old woman, stop it. You've hit enough. You should stop now, right?" Old Lady Sun glared at Dr. Sun and said, "Because I say, old man. Are you feeling distressed? Bitches have to be dealt with like this. Otherwise, how can you remember? Next time you'll have to harm others." Dr. Sun said to Old Lady Sun, You, how can you be so unreasonable? Little phone girl isn't such a person." "Oh, she's not such a person? Then tell me, what kind of person is she? You're such an old man, and she can even lay her hands on you. Who knows how many people she's secretly involved with?" Dr. Sun looked at Old Lady Sun speechlessly. Isn't this old woman's words too much? She's simply unreasonable. On the contrary, Ma Xiaofeng remained silent and didn't explain. She just endured this grievance. Thinking of this, Dr. Sun felt even more distressed. After Dr. Sun sighed, he said to Old Lady Sun, "Hey old woman, I'm begging you, okay? Don't bother with little phone girl. Quickly let her go. If you continue to torment her, she'll really lose her life. Let's go back and have a good talk. Don't make a fuss here and let everyone know." Old Lady Sun didn't agree. "I don't want to. Today, I have to let people be the judge, and let people know what kind of person this little vixen is." Dr. Sun saw that Old Lady Sun was simply stubborn. No matter what he said, it would be useless, so he could only follow Old Lady Sunday. If he wanted to blame someone, he could only blame himself. When he saw Old Lady Sun's aggressive appearance and holding the axe, he was scared out of his wits. Otherwise, he would definitely fight with Old Lady Sun and save Ma Xiaofeng. Ma Xiaofeng was slapped a few more times by Old Madam Sunday. Her whole body seemed to be exhausted. She felt dizzy and was about to fall down. Because of the big noise made by Old Lady Sun, many people in the village came in the direction of Ma Xiaofeng's house to see what had happened. As soon as she came to the shop, She saw old lady Sun beating Ma Xiaofeng, so she hurriedly asked, Auntie Sun, why did you beat Xiaofeng so badly? That's right. Little Feng girl, how did I offend you? Look at how ruthless you are. Sigh, Xiao Feng girl's face is swollen from the beating, and the corner of her mouth is still bleeding. How pitiful. Tisk tsk tsk. You're really too ruthless. Aren't you afraid of losing your life? Someone noticed that Dr. Sun was carrying a medical box, and thought that Dr. Sun was trying to treat Qian Chuanxiu's injuries. Then old Madam Sun found out. So old Madam Sun came early and gave Ma Xiaofeng a good beating. If this was really the case, then it was a bit unreasonable. Auntie Sun, if Dr. Sun is trying to treat Widow Qian's injuries, then forget it. That Widow Qian seems to be on the verge of death from her injuries. Dr. Sun is kind-hearted, so he came to take a look at her and save her life. Don't fuss over this matter, and don't hit little Feng. No matter what, it has nothing to do with little Feng. That's right, Auntie Sunday. Let little Feng girl go now. If there's anything, we can talk about it. There's no need to make such a fuss. Chapter 1544. The surrounding villagers were slightly stunned. They wanted to hear old Madam Sun's explanation. What was going on that could make old Madam Sun so agitated? Old Madam Sun began to recount what had happened. You guys don't know how despicable this little b*** tch is. She actually seduced my old man. Fortunately, I found out in time. When I came over, I saw the two of them hugging each other intimately. Hearing old Madam Sun's words, the villagers opened their mouths so wide that they could swallow an egg. They were shocked by old Madam Sun's words. Auntie Sun, is what you said true? Did I see wrongly? It's impossible, right? Little Feng and Dr. Sun. How is this possible? Dr. Sun, is it really such a person? It's really unbelievable. The villagers began to chatter among themselves. Most of them had a skeptical attitude towards the matter. Old Madam Sun said with a cold face, Hee, I also want it to be fake, but I saw it with my own eyes. The two of them were kissing and hugging each other. They were just a few meters away. How could I see wrongly? Oh my God. How could this little Feng do such a thing? She actually seduced Dr. Sun? In fact, it's not impossible. Didn't her mother have an affair with Zhao Wenxue? What kind of life? What kind of person? Her mother was like this and she was like this. It's very normal. Tisk tsk, how interesting. Little Feng girl actually got together with Dr. Sun. This mother and daughter pair is a scourge to our village. I think Ma Xiaofeng is even more inhumane. She looks like a vixen. She even seduced Dr. Sunday. I'm afraid the rest of our village won't be able to escape from her. Everyone, hurry up and keep a close eye on your men. Don't be bewitched by this vixen. Sigh, then we can only keep a close eye on them. We can't be seduced by her. The villagers were chattering and discussing, and they were all cursing Ma Xiaofeng. This was the most intolerable thing. A piece of rat poop spoils the whole pot of porridge. They were afraid that the rest of the villagers wouldn't be able to resist Ma Xiaofeng's young beauty, and would fall for her. Originally, they said that old Madam Sun was too harsh on Ma Xiaofeng, but after knowing the truth, they felt that Ma Xiaofeng deserved it. Who asked her to seduce others' man? At this moment, she felt that old Madam Sun should have taught Ma Xiaofeng a lesson, and taught her how to be a proper person. Ma Xiaofeng was beaten until she had no strength left. She fell to the ground. Old Madam Sun kicked Ma Xiaofeng on the ground. Who told you to lie on the ground? Get up now. Dr. Sun really couldn't take it anymore. He said to old Madam Sun angrily, Enough, you old woman, that's enough. Look. Don't you think it should be done? After old Madam Sun finished speaking, the surrounding villagers began to criticize Dr. Sunday. Dr. Sun, how can you do this? You're a dignified doctor. You're such a serious and decent person. How can you do such a dirty thing and hook up with Ma Xiaofeng? He's really a disgrace to our village. He doesn't deserve to be a doctor. Chapter 1545. I originally thought that Dr. Sun was a decent person, but now it seems that he's just like those old perverts who were seduced by a young and beautiful girl. Dr. Sun is too disappointing. He was seduced by this Ma Xiaofeng. Now he still has the nerve to protect her in front of all of us. It's said that you can't abandon your wife. Over the years, Auntie Sun has been busy with all the big and small matters in Dr. Sun's family. Not only did she work herself to death for the whole family, but now Dr. Sun is actually scolding Auntie Sun for a little b*tch. Sigh, aren't all men the same? They like young and beautiful women. Dr. Sun is no exception. Otherwise he wouldn't have fallen into Ma Xiaofeng's trap. That's why I said he's shameless. He's already so old, yet he still did this kind of thing. Isn't he afraid that his wife will be disappointed? Everyone's discussion made Dr. Sun lose face. Now that the villagers were saying this, there would definitely be more discussions in the future. Because of this matter, there would definitely be such discussions behind him wherever he went in the future. He was afraid that he wouldn't have the face to go out and meet people. It was all because of his stinky wife. If it weren't for her, everyone in the village would know about it, and he wouldn't have lost face. Other women would protect their men's face outside, but his wife liked to embarrass him. Dr. Sun was a little angry, but he couldn't say anything to Old Lady Sun in front of the villagers. Otherwise he would definitely be caught by the villagers and scolded. Old Lady Sun kicked Ma Xiaofeng a few more times. She was unwilling to give up when she looked at Ma Xiaofeng. The people around watched the commotion and targeted Ma Xiaofeng again. In the eyes of the villagers, Ma Xiaofeng's seduction was really too bad. If no punishment was given for this matter, it would also be a bad thing for them. After all, if Ma Xiaofeng hooked up with other men in the village in the future, wouldn't it be as noisy as Dr. Sun's family? The corner of Ma Xiaofeng's mouth was bleeding and her face was swollen. But no one came forward to stop or persuade her. Dr. Sun watched from the side as Ma Xiaofeng was beaten. He could only feel anxious. Ma Xiaofeng felt dizzy from the beating. If the beating continued, she would really lose her life. He could only ask for help from the people around him. Save me, save me. I can't hold on much longer. It hurts. I can't take it anymore. Woo woo woo. Ma Xiaofeng begged as tears streamed down her face. The crowd watched on indifferently, as if they were not moved at all. On the contrary, many people snickered when they saw that she had been beaten and even scolded her for asking for it. Ma Xiaofeng was in despair. She was really pitiful. It was her first time doing something like this and she was caught. This was great. In the future, she would not be able to stay in the village. She did not know how many people would scold her. Her situation was more serious than her mother's, and the villagers couldn't tolerate it. In the end, Ma Xiaofeng felt that her face was numb. The pain had already covered her whole body, and many parts of her face were bruised and swollen. Seeing that Ma Xiaofeng was on the ground and not resisting, Dr. Sun hurriedly said to Old Lady Sun, "Old woman, you're beating her to death. Why don't you stop quickly? Why do you have to kill her?" Old Lady Sun was also a little scared that someone would die. Chapter 1546. Old Lady Sun stopped and stared coldly at Ma Xiaofeng on the ground. Dr. Sun looked at her with a distressed expression. After beating Ma Xiaofeng, Old Lady Sun was still a little angry, so her vicious gaze fell on Dr. Sunday. The b*tch needed to be taught a lesson, and so did the man who secretly ate her. Old Lady Sun walked straight to Dr. Sunday, seeing the hostility emanating from Old Lady Sun. Dr. Sun was so scared that he stepped back. He pointed at Old Lady Sun and asked, "Old woman, what do you want to do?" Old Lady Sun snorted coldly and said, "Naturally, I want to teach you a lesson and make you remember." Dr. Sun was so scared that he trembled and took a few steps back. He knew how powerful his old woman was. When she beat him up, she didn't show any mercy at all. When they quarreled and fought, he couldn't beat Old Lady Sun and was taught a lesson every time. Therefore, he was somewhat afraid of Old Lady Sunday. However, although Dr. Sun took a few steps back, he was still caught by Old Lady Sunday. Old Lady Sun stretched out her hand and twisted Dr. Sun's ear. "You old bastard, old thing lecher. You're already so old. Yet you still want to find a little b asterisk tch. Don't you feel ashamed? Old Lady Sun scolded. Her saliva flew and sprayed on Dr. Sun's face. Dr. Sun smelled a stench at the tip of his nose. It was the smell of Old Lady Sun's saliva. A wave of nausea rose in his heart. Old woman, can you stop yelling? Dr. Sun asked with a frown. Old Madam Sun snorted and said, What's wrong? Why aren't you making a fuss? You old man, are you feeling embarrassed? Since you know it's embarrassing, why are you still looking for a little b asterisk tch at your age? If you don't behave, I have to teach you a lesson. Dr. Sun was scolded by Old Lady Sun until he couldn't talk back. Old Lady Sun scolded him while pushing and hitting him. In front of so many people in the village, Dr. Sun felt that his dignity had been swept to the ground. Today not only did he lose face, but he also lost his dignity. When the surrounding villagers saw him being insulted and bullied by Old Lady Sun, they all secretly laughed and said a few sarcastic words from time to time. Dr. Sun's face turned red. He felt that if he allowed Old Lady Sun to continue making trouble, he really didn't have to leave the village anymore. Before Old Lady Sun opened her mouth to scold again, Dr. Sun scolded. You damned old woman, are you done yet? Old Lady Sun was stunned by Dr. Sun's words. When she saw Dr. Sun's fierce expression, she was a little scared of Dr. Sun for the first time. However, this fear was fleeting. Old Lady Sun quickly restrained the fear in her heart. She rolled up her sleeves and scolded Dr. Sun. What's wrong? What's wrong? How dare you say that I'm not done yet? If it weren't for the dirty things you did, would I be like this? You shameless old man. You're the one who's behaving indecently, yet you're still yelling at me. Looks like I went too easy on you just now. This time, I'll beat you until you're like that little bitch, unable to get up. Old Madam Sun was infuriated by Dr. Sunday. She was originally a tough person and had a big temper. She couldn't tolerate Dr. Sun singing a different tune from her. You damned old woman, hurry up and help me. How dare you hit me? I'm your man. I've been too good to you all these years. You're lawless and you're riding roughshod over me. Chapter 1547. Old Madam Sun's hand, which was originally waved away, fell down temporarily after hearing Dr. Sun say that he was divorcing her. She looked at Dr. Sun in disbelief. Because for so many years, no matter how fierce and excessive she scolded him, Dr. Sun had never said anything about divorcing her. Most of the women in the village were afraid of their own family members. Dr. Sun's situation was very rare. Old Madam Sun, who was originally fierce, was shocked by Dr. Sun's words. Women were most afraid of being divorced by men. It would be fine if she was younger. After all, she could remarry. At worst, she could just find a man with worse conditions. However, she was an old woman in her 50s or 60s. If she was divorced, she would have nowhere to go. Her parents had passed away long ago. She couldn't go to her brother, right? Wouldn't she be despised by her brother? In addition, she didn't have much ability. If she really divorced Dr. Sun, it wasn't impossible for her to starve to death. When Dr. Sun saw that his words seemed to have an effect on Old Madam Sun, he felt a little proud in his heart. Sure enough, what Ma Xiaofeng said to him before was right. If he had known this earlier, this woman wouldn't have been riding on his head all these years and acting like a tyrant. Old Madam Sun's lips trembled and she asked, You damn old man, what did you say? You want to divorce me? Dr. Sun raised his chin and said, Yes, I want to divorce you. Look at you. Where do you have the 3 obedience and 4 virtues of a woman? Women listen to men. With your virtue, what can you say if I divorce you? You only committed one of these 7 crimes. Even if I divorce you, there's nothing you can say. Old Madam Sun was speechless for a moment. If Dr. Sun really divorced her, she really couldn't do anything. It was a matter of course for a man to divorce a woman. What could she do? Indeed, as Dr. Sun said, this matter was brought to Li Zheng. Dr. Sun insisted on one of the 7 crimes. Li Zheng couldn't be too involved in other people's family affairs. You. Great, you old man. You actually want to divorce me for a little b asterisk tc. Everyone, take a look. Come and judge. Tell me, is there such a thing? Old Lady Sun had no choice but to call out to the villagers so that Dr. Sun could not divorce her due to the public opinion. Sure enough, with Old Lady Sun's shout, the nearby villagers all started to help. Dr. Sun, it's really unkind of you to do this. Although Auntie is a bit fierce, she still gave birth to children for the Sun family and took care of you all. Even if she didn't make any contributions, she still worked hard. If you divorce her now, isn't that the same as forcing her to her death? At this age, where can he go? What kind of work can he do to earn a living? Dr. Sun, you're burning the bridge after crossing the river. Everyone knows very well that for so many years, although you and Auntie quarreled, you never said that you would divorce her. This time, you suddenly said that you would divorce Auntie. Isn't it because of Ma Xiaofeng? Dr. Sun, don't be silly. You're already so old. If you divorce your wife, who will help you take care of your family? At this age, it's even more inseparable from women. Dr. Sun, don't say such angry words. What you did today was indeed wrong. It's not too much for Auntie to scold you a few times. Hearing that the villagers were all helping Old Lady Sun, Dr. Sun was very angry. Chapter 1548. Anyway, no matter what he did, he had already lost his face, so he wasn't afraid of going overboard. Thinking of what Ma Xiaofeng had said to him before, Dr. Sun decided to be tough. Otherwise, he would be bullied by Old Lady Sun again. You old woman, do you think I won't divorce you just because of this? Dr. Sun glared at Old Lady Sun and scolded angrily. You? Old Lady Sun pointed at Dr. Sun and felt inexplicably guilty. She was really afraid that Dr. Sun would divorce her. This old man's personality changed as soon as he got together with Ma Xiaofeng. Wasn't he just falling into Ma Xiaofeng's trap? The more Old Lady Sun thought about it, the angrier she became. What could she do? Ma Xiaofeng was younger and prettier than her, which was her advantage. You damn old man, do you want to divorce me and live with this bitch? Old Lady Sun asked angrily. If Old Lady Sun didn't say it, Dr. Sun wouldn't have thought of it. Now that Old Lady Sun said it, Dr. Sun felt that he could indeed marry Ma Xiaofeng. Ma Xiaofeng was young and beautiful, much better than Old Lady Sunday. The most important thing was that Ma Xiaofeng was gentle, which Old Lady Sun couldn't compare to. The more Dr. Sun thought about it, the more determined he was to divorce Old Lady Sun and marry Ma Xiaofeng. Old woman, you have to pay attention to what you say. It's normal for a man to have 3 wives and 4 concubines. So what if I marry Xiaofeng girl? Don't tell me that our village doesn't allow people to take concubines? After Dr. Sun said this, Old Lady Sun almost fainted from anger. This old man was really shameless. How could he have the nerve to say such words? You shameless old man. How dare you say it out loud? Tell me, where's your face? Where's your face? Oh my, you still want to marry a little girl. She's already old enough to be your granddaughter. Don't you know she's ugly? Old Lady Sun scolded. Dr. Sun felt that he had already lost enough face, so he might as well lose it to the end. Why can't he marry her? In other villages, old officials in their 70s or 80s can also marry young girls who are 15 or 16 years old. Why can't I? You. Old Lady Sun pointed at Dr. Sunday, facing Dr. Sun's shamelessness. She was really at her wit's end. It seemed that her old man was determined to marry Ma Xiaofeng. When Dr. Sun saw that Old Lady Sun was no longer making a fuss, he snorted proudly and ignored Old Lady Sunday. Instead, he walked towards Ma Xiaofeng and helped Ma Xiaofeng up from the ground. Dr. Sun's eyes darkened when he saw the injuries on Ma Xiaofeng's body. This old woman was too ruthless. Looking at the injuries on Ma Xiaofeng's body, she was simply tormented beyond recognition. He had to give Ma Xiaofeng a proper treatment later. You damned old woman, your heart is really vicious. Little Feng lass, quickly get up. Let me take a look at your injuries. Dr. Sun said to Ma Xiaofeng with heartache while glaring at Old Lady Sunday. Old Lady Sun felt a little desperate. From the looks of it, her old man had made up his mind to divorce her and marry Ma Xiaofeng. Old Lady Sun's chest was heaving up and down. She picked up the axe beside her and rushed towards Dr. Sun and Ma Xiaofeng. She cursed loudly. Since the two of you want to be together, then I'll fulfill your wish and let the two of you become a pair of miserable lovebirds in the netherworld. Chapter 1549. Old Madame Sun retracted the axe that she had swung. She saw Ma Xiaofeng looking at her bitterly, and even breaking free from Dr. Sun's embrace. Ma Xiaofeng kowtowed a few times to old Madame Sun. Auntie, I really know that I was wrong. It's all my fault. I shouldn't have had such thoughts. I was also trying to save my mother. No matter what, Dr. Sun was unwilling to save my mother. I tried to say that if I gave my body to him, maybe he could save my mother. Then Dr. Sun agreed. Auntie, I have no feelings for Dr. Sun at all. As long as he can save my mother, I am willing to do anything. I have never thought of seducing anyone. I was forced to do so. I really have no other choice. Auntie, please pity me and spare me. Don't worry, I will never do it again. I won't have any involvement with Dr. Sun. Ma Xiaofeng was forced to admit her mistake in front of old Madame Sun because she had no other choice. After all, nothing was more important than her life. As long as she could save her life, what was dignity? After Ma Xiaofeng finished saying these words, it could be considered as a disguised form of whitewashing herself and pushing all the blame to Dr. Sunday. When the villagers scolded her later, they wouldn't scold her too much for the sake of her mother. Sure enough, when the surrounding villagers heard Ma Xiaofeng's words, they felt some sympathy for Ma Xiaofeng. Ma Xiaofeng seduced Dr. Sun and had an unspeakable relationship with him. It was indeed wrong, but it was all because she was eager to save her mother. Everyone knew that Ma Xiaofeng couldn't invite other doctors and could only rely on Dr. Sun to see if he could save Qian Chuanxiu's life. She was eager to save her mother and was forced to use her body in exchange for Dr. Sun to save Qian Chuanxiu. To be able to make such a big sacrifice for her mother, it showed that Ma Xiaofeng was indeed filial. If it were them, and their parents suffered such a disaster, perhaps they would do the same as Ma Xiaofeng. Many people who had children and parents were moved when they heard this. They wiped the tears from the corners of their eyes and persuaded old Madame Sunday, Auntie Sun, I don't think Xiaofeng did it on purpose. It was Dr. Sun's fault for not being able to resist the temptation. At that time, you stopped the doctor from seeing the wound. You also have some responsibility, so let's forget about this matter. That's right, Auntie Sun, little girl Xiaofeng. She has already lowered her head and admitted her mistake. Just spare her. No matter what, he shouldn't have killed anyone. If you kill the two of them later, won't you have to go to prison to suffer? Why do you have to do that? Don't you think so? If you kill them and get some benefits, that's fine, but the problem is that you won't get any. Auntie Sun, calm down. This matter was not entirely Xiaofeng's fault. Everyone was to blame. Let's just forget about it. It's not good for everyone to make a ruckus. If someone dies, that would be a big problem. After being persuaded by these people, old lady Sun calmed down. She felt that it was reasonable. If she hurt Ma Xiaofeng, she would also lose her life. It was not worth it. When she saw that Ma Xiaofeng was so humble to him, she didn't hate him so much anymore. All of this was her old man's responsibility. If she couldn't protect him, even if there was no Ma Xiaofeng, he would have hooked up with other women. She reckoned that he had already hooked up with other women. Chapter 1550. Dr. Sun was stunned, as if he didn't expect Ma Xiaofeng to say such a thing. He looked at Ma Xiaofeng with some disappointment and asked, Little Feng girl, are you really not willing to be with me? I will treat you well, and I will also treat your mother's illness. Dr. Sun's words were threatening Ma Xiaofeng. In fact, he meant that if Ma Xiaofeng didn't follow him, he wouldn't treat Qian Chuanxiu's illness anymore. Ma Xiaofeng frowned and thought in her heart. Naturally, she couldn't be with a bad old man like Dr. Sunday. It was okay to be with him a few times, but it was impossible to be with Dr. Sun every day in the future. Moreover, with old lady Sun's personality, she would most likely fight her to the death. Compared to her mother's life, her life was naturally more important. If she kept her life, She could find another doctor to treat her mother later. But if she lost her life, it would really be gone. Therefore, Ma Xiaofeng shook her head heavily and said, Dr. Sun, I beg you, please let me go. I never thought of marrying you. In order to save my mother, I had no choice but to be with you. Auntie has served you for so many years, you can't let her down. Ma Xiaofeng's last sentence made old lady Sun feel very comfortable in her heart. Although this woman was a bit cheap, she was tactful. Dr. Sun was even more disappointed. Why was Ma Xiaofeng's previous words different from what she was saying now? It was Ma Xiaofeng who said that he didn't need to be afraid of his wife, but now she was persuading him to be with his wife. Old man, I think you should give up. Don't you look at yourself? You're already so old and you still want to marry a young one? If you divorce me, you won't have anyone to serve you later. Dr. Sun glared at old lady Sun angrily. He was embarrassed by old lady Sun's words. You stinky woman, even if it's little phone girl, if she doesn't follow me, I won't live with you. Old lady Sun's eyes widened. What did you say? You won't live with me? Dr. Sun snorted coldly. That's right, I won't live with an old woman like you. You. Seeing that old lady Sun was going to make a move on him again, Dr. Sun said, if you have the ability, then come and chop me up. Later, you'll see if the government will arrest you and put you in jail. You'll suffer. Old Madam Sun hesitated and didn't pick up the axe again. Things like killing people were done in a fit of anger. Now that he had calmed down, he didn't dare and was afraid. Coupled with the persuasion of the people around her, old lady Sun lost her confidence. All right. For today's matter, both of you should take a step back. Don't make things worse. That's right, we still have to live on. Dr. Sun, since Xiaofeng girl doesn't want to live with you, you shouldn't divorce auntie. Otherwise, who will help you cook and wash your clothes? The chores at home are very heavy. You're usually so busy that you don't have time to take care of it. Since you're an old married couple, you'll be able to help out more or less. Let's just forget about this matter. We've been husband and wife for decades. There should be some feelings between us, right? If the children see you making such a fuss, they'll probably feel terrible too. Dr. Sun, don't even think about divorcing your wife. In this day and age, it's not easy to marry another wife. You're already so old. Aren't you rich? Don't tell me you still want to marry a young girl? Dr. Sun thought about it and felt that it made sense. Everything else was fine. He was just afraid that he wouldn't be able to marry another young girl. He couldn't be a bachelor. Chapter 1551. When he could marry a young and beautiful woman, it wouldn't be too late to divorce Old Lady Sunday. At least during this period of time, he could use Old Lady Sun to help him serve himself. Dr. Sun snorted softly and said, It's okay to not divorce her, but this old woman can't make trouble with me anymore. Which family's woman is so unruly? The villagers persuaded Old Lady Sun again. In order to continue living with Dr. Sun, Old Lady Sun also took a step back. If she doesn't make trouble, then let's not make trouble. Then we have to go back now. Old man, you can't pay attention to this little bitch anymore. Dr. Sun glanced at Ma Xiaofeng, his heart aching. Let's go. Dr. Sun snorted softly. It just so happened that he didn't have the face to stay. These people were talking about it. How could he still keep his face? After a while, Old Lady Sun and Dr. Sun left one after another, leaving only some onlookers and Ma Xiaofeng lying on the ground. Seeing that Ma Xiaofeng was so badly injured, many villagers began to sympathize with her again. The kind-hearted people helped Ma Xiaofeng up and sent her to Ma Xiaofeng's house. Ma Xiaofeng lay down on her bed. Fortunately, someone helped her, otherwise, she might not be able to climb back alone. Little Feng, you can't go to such extremes in order to save your mother. You have to be clear about what you should do and what you shouldn't do. Didn't you and Dr. Sun create such a mess that they can't get along well with each other? Yes, Little Feng, don't do this again next time. This kind of thing is immoral. You will be scolded later. You asked about your mother this time, so everyone can understand. Otherwise, this kind of thing with an old man will be more serious than having an affair. Ma Xiaofeng also humbly responded to the villagers' words. Okay, uncles and aunts, I will remember what you said. This matter is indeed my fault. I am sorry to Aunt Sunday. I will buy some things to apologize to her later. I shouldn't have taken the unconventional path to save my mother and hurt myself and others. I have made a fool of myself. Ma Xiaofeng was very shrewd. She knew that the more she explained now, the more disgusted the villagers would be. Instead, she used her mother as an excuse to say that she had no choice but to do this, which could make people forgive her. The villagers saw that Ma Xiaofeng's attitude was good and knew that she was wrong. They felt that it would be bad to talk about Ma Xiaofeng again. Everyone makes mistakes. This time, Ma Xiaofeng made a mistake because she was too eager to save her mother. Thinking about it carefully, she could be forgiven. Moreover, Ma Xiaofeng had already said that she would buy something to apologize to her later. Doing this was already pretty good. Little. The villagers said a few words, and then left Ma Xiaofeng's house. When there was no one in her room, Ma Xiaofeng bit her lower lip, and a trace of hatred appeared in her eyes. This old Madam's son was too much. She seriously injured her. She must get back at her for the pain she suffered in her hands. Now was not the time to argue with old Madame Sunday. She had to continue living in the village, unless there was a day when she didn't need to. Chapter 1552. Ma Xiaofeng lay on the bed and breathed a sigh of relief. She had a feeling of rebirth. Today she was lucky to escape from old Madame Sun's axe. In the future, she must not be discovered by others. Otherwise, if she met a shrewish old woman like old Madame Sun, she would probably lose her life. After watching the scene for a while, Zhao Yun felt a little bored. Originally, he wanted to see Ma Xiaofeng's miserable end. He didn't expect that Ma Xiaofeng was smarter than he thought. She knew how to take advantage of people's sympathy. Although this incident had some impact on Ma Xiaofeng, it was not fatal. At most, she would be laughed at behind her back. Not many people would say it out loud. But thinking about how Ma Xiaofeng was taught a lesson and old Madame Sun was ruthless, Ma Xiaofeng suffered a lot this time. Ma Xiaofeng should have learned some lessons. Sometimes people were like this. They couldn't be too cheap. After all, the paper couldn't wrap the fire. There would be a day when the truth would be revealed. After the villagers left one after another, Zhao Yun also left resentfully. Zhao Yun first went to the third branch to pick up Tian Tian. Now that Liang Jinxiao was pregnant, she couldn't let Liang Jinxiao work too hard. Taking care of a child was tiring work. She tried to take care of Tian Tian herself, and didn't want to trouble Liang Jinxiao. In the afternoon, Zhao Yun cooked some sour plum soup. Liang Jinxiao said that she wanted to drink it, so she cooked some. Daodu and Mu Lianfeng both liked to drink this sour plum soup. In addition to giving it to the men who went to work, Zhao Yun also sent some to Zhu Eru. In addition, she sent some to Mulan. Mulan had several children in her family. Children liked to drink these things. Seeing Zhao Yun bring the sour plum soup over, De Hua, Hua, and San all gathered in front of Zhao Yun. Aunt Yun, you are so kind to send us such delicious drinks. Yes, Aunt Yun. This sour plum soup is really delicious. It's even better than the sugar water at home. Zhao Yun saw the three children. Each of them poured a bowl and drank it. They were very satisfied, and her lips could not help but hang a smile. It's good that you like it. Aunt Yun has a lot of it at home. If you want to drink it, just tell Aunt Yun. If you don't have it, Aunt Yun can make more. The child smiled shyly and nodded. San saw that Zhao Yun was holding Tian Tian, and Tian Tian's big eyes were staring at the three of them. She seemed to want to drink the sour plum soup too. San brought the sour plum soup to Zhao Yun and said to Zhao Yun, Aunt Yun, do you want to give little sister Tian Tian some? She looks like she wants to drink it too. Zhao Yun glanced at Tian Tian in her arms, and saw that the child indeed had a longing look. San drink it yourself. Little sister is still young. She can't drink this thing. Otherwise she will get a stomachache. So it's like this. San looked at Tian Tian with some sympathy. Although sheep's milk was also delicious, San felt that the sour plum soup was better to drink. Little sister Tian Tian, Then I can't give it to you. You can drink it when you grow up. At that time, you won't get a stomachache. Tian withdrew her eager eyes and began to suck on her fingers. Zhao Yun'er quickly stopped her. Zhao Yun'er thought about whether she could make a milk bottle for her later. But in this era, there was no plastic things. It was difficult to make. Chapter 1553. Zhao Yun'er began to miss the life in the 21st century. It was really too convenient. However, she was afraid that she would stay here for the rest of her life and could not go back. After the children in Mulan's family finished a bowl each, they heard Zhao Yun'er say that they could not drink too much, so they did not continue to drink. They were very obedient. It was a hot day, so the children did not run out to play. Zhao Yun'er chatted for a while in Mulan's house. Then she saw San holding a branch and writing on the ground. Zhao Yun'er walked over and saw what San was writing. There were a few Chinese characters written on the ground. Zhao Yun'er also recognized them. It was San's San, as well as Zhu, De Hua, and Hua. Although the writing was not very good, it was very clear. After Zhao Yun'er saw it, she was a little surprised that San could write. She said to San is great. You can even write names. San looked up at Zhao Yun'er and smiled shyly. Aunt Yun, these words were taught by Daodu. Zhao Yun'er was slightly stunned. It was Daodu who taught San? It seemed that her baby son was also very powerful. He actually became a teacher and taught others to write and recognize words. Daodu taught you? Yes. San nodded heavily. When it came to Daodu, San said with some admiration. Aunt Yun, Daodu is so powerful. He can write and recognize a lot of words. The other children in the village are not like him. Zhao Yun'er saw that San seemed to be a little envious, so she said, Daodu can recognize so many words because Daodu has father to teach him. If San had someone to teach him, she would definitely be able to recognize a lot. Zhao Yun'er said this to make San feel that she was not worse than anyone else. She could not only admire others but look down on herself. Speaking of this, San began to envy again. Daodu's father is so powerful. If only San's father was as powerful. Zhao Yun'er's heart trembled. Fortunately, Zhu was not by her side. Otherwise, Zhu would inevitably feel sad after hearing this. San, you can't say that. Although your father can't read and can't teach you this, your father can make a lot of things. You can work in the fields and grow food. You can build a house and your family can move in. There are many more things that your father knows, but Daodu's father doesn't. That's why you can't say that. The two of them are on par. Hearing Zhao Yun'er's words, San thought for a while and felt that it made sense. His father also knew a lot of things. San nodded heavily and said to Zhao Yun'er, Aunt Yun, I got it. Zhao Yun'er showed a satisfied smile. Mulan was behind Zhao Yun'er. When she heard Zhao Yun'er's words, she was very moved. How could she not know in her heart that Zhu was a rough man who worked in the countryside? How could he compare with a handsome man like Mu Lianfeng? Zhao Yun'er said this to protect Zhu's image in the child's heart. She didn't want the child to envy others at such a young age and dislike their parents. If you want to learn how to read in the future, you can directly find Daodu's father. He will teach you when he has time. Zhao Yun'er said with a smile. San's eyes suddenly brightened. He looked at Zhao Yun'er in disbelief. Chapter 1554. Zhao Yun'er nodded. Of course it's true. San was happy to be able to read like Daodu in the future. De Hua and Hua followed behind San. And said, Aunt Yun, can we learn together? We want to read too. Looking at the two children's expectant faces, Zhao Yun'er nodded again. Yes, of course. While De Hua and Hua were happily holding hands, Mulan was afraid that the three children would go to Mu Lianfeng. It would be very troublesome. Mu Lianfeng had so many things to do every day. It was enough to teach San alone. She couldn't help but say to De Hua and Hua, San can learn alone. You two don't have to make trouble. When San learns well, she will teach you. Zhao Yun'er was a little disappointed to see De Hua and Hua. Hua complained, Mom, you're so biased. You want San to go instead of us. Mulan was slightly stunned by Er's words. Biased? This child might be thinking too much. She didn't mean that at all. Zhao Yin'er saw Mulan frowning, so she said to Hua, "Your mom is not biased. She's just afraid that you will cause trouble for Daoda's father. But it's okay. Let's go together and teach together." Zhao Yin'er pulled Mulan and said with a smile, "It's okay. These children won't be taught every day. Mu Lianfeng can teach them when he has time. It won't cause too much trouble." Hearing Zhao Yin'er's words, Mulan sighed slightly. If she insisted, she would probably be accused of being biased by Hua again. Girls don't study at all these years. In our village, there are only a few boys who study. If Hua and Hua can read and write, they'll be gossiped by others. Zhao Yin'er chuckled and said, "What? What can they say? It's a good thing that girls can read and write." Mulan thought about it and agreed. If all girls could read and write, it was not a bad thing, just like Zhao Yin'er could read and write. Compared with them, Zhao Yin'er was more capable and smart. In the future, when Hua and Hua grew up, not to mention Zhao Yin, they could be half as good as Zhao Yin. Yes. Then I'll let Hua and Hua learn more. Sorry to trouble you, Lord Heir. It's okay. In the courtyard of the Mulan residence, other than the few of them, there was also the eldest son of the Zhu family. It was a hot day, but Mrs. Qi didn't have time to stop. Because they had wasted 5 taels of silver last time, Zhu Dainyu didn't let Mrs. Qi rest for a moment. After Mrs. Qi learned how to weave baskets from Mulan for a while, Zhu Dainyu let Mrs. Qi weave baskets all day long. In the future, a basket could be sold to other shops at a lower price. Although the price was almost half of the normal price, she could still make some money by weaving a few baskets a day. It was better than Mrs. Qi not being at home all day and making nothing. However, Mrs. Qi was tired of crying. Mrs. Qi's daughter, Zhu Qiaoer, heard that Hua and Hua wanted to learn to read and write. So she ran to Mrs. Qi and shouted, "Mom, Hua and Hua want to learn to read and write. I want to learn too." Mrs. Qi was already annoyed. Hearing Zhu Qiaoer shout, she replied unhappily, "You wicked girl, can't you see that I'm busy? Why are you bothering me?" Chapter 1555. Zhu Qiaoer cried and yelled, "Mom, you're a bad girl. You're a bad girl. You're a bad girl. I hate you." Mrs. Qi was also annoyed. She had been working herself to death, and it was annoying enough. Now her daughter even came to annoy her. She was so inconsiderate. Let's be clear. How am I a bad girl? You're being unreasonable. What can I do? Mom, you're a bad girl. Mrs. Qi was annoyed to see her daughter. She couldn't wait to slap Zhu Qiaoer on the face. Other people's daughters cared about others. They didn't pester them, and even helped them from time to time. However, Mrs. Qi was like an ancestor, serving them every day. Whenever Mrs. Qi did something wrong, she would immediately kick up a fuss, which was really annoying. However, Mrs. Qi was always like this. She couldn't change her habit. Hearing Zhu Qiaoer's noise, Zhu Dainyu, who was taking a nap, was woken up by Zhu Qiaoer's noise. He walked out of the room. Zhu Dainyu asked in a low voice, "Qiaoer, what's wrong? Why are you crying?" Once Zhu Dainyu came out, Zhu Qiaoer rushed to Zhu Dainyu's side as if she had found someone to rely on. She hugged Zhu Dainyu's leg and said to Zhu Dainyu, "Dad, Mom bullied me." Zhu Dainyu's cold eyes fell on Mrs. Qi. Mrs. Qi pouted, feeling aggrieved. Zhu Dainyu asked in a cold voice, "You do you want to die? Why are you bullying your daughter again?" "Dainyu, let me explain. I didn't bully her. She's too insensible. She insisted on making a fuss in front of me. I'm busy now, and I don't have time to talk to her. So I told her to leave. She said that I bullied her." Zhu Dainyu frowned. He glanced at Mrs. Qi, then turned to Zhu Dainyu. Madame Qi was a little scared. She was afraid that Zhu Dainyu would slap her, and she would be finished. Zhu Dainyu hit her very hard. He often hit her so hard that she was stunned. "Xiao, or what's going on? Tell father clearly." Zhu Qiaoer then said, "Father, Hua and Hua will learn how to read and write in the future. I also want to learn. Otherwise, Won't I be no worse than De Hua and Er Hua in the future? Zhu Dania thought for a moment, and felt that what Zhu Qiaoer said was very reasonable. Zhu Daniu patted Zhu Qiaoer's head and praised her. My Qiaoer knows how to work hard at such a young age. She can't be worse than others. Zhu Qiaoer raised her chin and said, Of course, father. Qiaoer can't embarrass you. I have to make you proud. Zhu Daniu nodded in agreement and said, Yes, yes, yes. You are my daughter, Zhu Daniu. You can't be worse than other daughters. Qiaoer's mother, if the child wants to learn how to read and write, you should let her learn. Why are you stopping her? Madam Qi felt even more wronged. Daniu, you can't say that. It's not like I'm not letting her learn. But De Hua and Er Hua are learning from Lord Shizhi. Lord Shizhi can't possibly teach Qiaoer, right? Zhu Daniu was silent for a moment, looking as if he was thinking about something. Zhu Qiaoer tugged at Zhu Daniu's hand and said, Father, Qiaoer wants to learn. Seeing Zhao Yin, standing in front of the second branch's house, Zhu Daniu ordered Madam Qi and said, Go. Go and talk to Zhao Yin, and see if she can teach our family's Qiao. Chapter 1556. Madam Qi was in a dilemma. What was the point of asking? It was obvious that Zhao Yin, would not agree. She wanted to teach De Hua and Er Hua because Zhao Yin, had a good relationship with Mulan. That was the reason why she wanted to teach De Hua and Er Hua. However, their family had nothing to do with Zhao Yin. It would be strange if Zhao Yin agreed. Daniel, how can it be so easy to say? Let's not talk about it. Zhu Daniu glared at Madam Qi. If I ask you to go, then go. Why are you dawdling with me? If you don't try asking, how do you know it won't work? Do you want Qiao, to be worse than the children of the second branch in the future? Qiao is already so old and knows how to fight for me. Why don't you understand? Madam Qi was shocked by Zhu Dania's reprimand. She had no choice but to agree. Ha, then I'll go and ask. Madam Qi dawdled over to Zhao Yin, and said to Zhao Yin, Can I discuss something with you? Zhao Yin heard the conversation between Madam Qi and Zhu Daniu and directly refused. No. Madam Qi was a little embarrassed. She looked at Zhao Yin, and then at Zhu Daniu. She knew that if she did not handle this matter properly, Zhu Daniu would scold her again. She could only continue to talk to Zhao Yin. Zhao Yin, it's not a big deal. Why don't you agree? I heard you say that you want Shizhi to teach De Hua, Er Hua, and San to read. Since he has already taught 3 children, then he doesn't mind teaching one more. Why don't you let Qiao, learn as well? Zhao Yin, listened to Madam Qi's words, and felt that Madam Qi's words were reasonable, which made her very unhappy. What you're saying is wrong. What do you mean by one more child won't make a difference? Don't tell me that the Crown Prince has so much time to teach others? Madam Qi pursed her lips. Zhao Yin, don't say so much. It's not that I don't have the time to teach you. I just don't want the heir to teach my Qiao. Zhao Yin pursed her lips, chuckled, and asked, Even if it's true, so what? What can you do to me? Madam Qi snorted softly. Of course, she couldn't do anything to Zhao Yin. If you don't want to teach, then don't teach. What's there to be proud of? Madam Qi turned around angrily and walked to Zhu Daniu. She said to Zhu Daniu, Daniu, you heard it too. Zhao Yin also said that she won't call our Qiao. Zhu Daniu sighed. Listening to Zhao Yin's tone just now, it was indeed quite resolute. Then don't teach. Qiao don't learn. However, Zhu Qiao, continued to tug at Zhu Daniu's hand unwillingly and said to Zhu Daniu, Father, I want to learn. I want to learn. Why can De Hua and Er Hua be able to read and write in the future? I can't? When the time comes, they can show off in front of me. In the face of Zhu Qiao's pestering, Zhu Daniu was somewhat helpless, but he didn't say anything to Zhu Qiao. Madam Qi impatiently reprimanded. You wretched girl, do what others want you to do. What if no one can teach you? If you have the ability, go find someone to teach you. It's not like I'm stopping you from learning. After being reprimanded by Madam Qi, Zhu Qiao, pouted again. But I just want to. Zhu Dania's eyes turned and suddenly thought of Zhu Sanlu. Chapter 1557. Since Lord Shitzi is unwilling to teach in Xiao, or wants to learn so much, why not let Xiao, or follow third brother? Anyway, third brother doesn't do any work all day. If he has the time, he can teach Xiao. Madame Qi frowned and asked, Dainyu, can third brother do it? Zhu Dainyu replied unhappily, why can't he? In any case, third brother has been studying for a few years. He should be somewhat cultured, right? Otherwise, wouldn't he have studied for a few years in vain? Madame Qi thought for a while, and felt that Zhu Dainya's words made sense. After all, Zhu Sanlu was someone who had been studying for a few years. He was one of the few scholars in the village. All right, then let third brother teach Qiao or... Zhu Dainyu responded. Madame Qi suddenly thought of something and said excitedly to Zhu Dainyu, Dainyu, since third brother has been studying for a few years, he should be able to read and write better than the average person in our village. Zhu Dainyu nodded and replied, that's right. Why do you say this? Madame Qi moved closer to Zhu Dainya's ear and laughed slyly. Dainyu, I have thought of a good way to make money. Upon hearing a good way to make money, Zhu Dainya's eyes suddenly lit up. He urged Madame Qi, what good way to make money? Hurry up and say it. Dainyu, I was thinking that since third brother has this ability, why don't we let third brother teach a few more children to read? Look at our village. There must be a lot of children who want to learn, but they can't afford to go to school. The school fees are very expensive. It's always good to know a few more words. Let's talk to the villagers and tell them that if they send their children to school, they don't have to pay as much as the school fees. A child only needs to pay 100 copper coins for half a year. Everyone can afford 100 copper coins. It's much less than the school fees. But if they can learn something, I think many people are willing to do it. After hearing Madame Qi's words, Zhu Dainyu felt that it was very reasonable. You don't say, your method is really good. Hearing Zhu Dainya's praise and approval, Madame Qi felt proud in her heart. Of course, Dainyu, we can rely on this to make money. It's much easier than weaving baskets, and we can make more money. Dainyu, third brother is at home, he can't help with other chores. He can't go on like this. Let's do this. At least find a way to make a living. Zhu Dainyu continued to nod in agreement. All right, you're right. Let's do it your way. Madame Qi felt a burst of joy in her heart. She thought that if she could earn a lot of money later, her family's condition would be better. Naturally, Zhu Dainyu would not expect her to make so many baskets every day to earn money. The past few days had been exhausting. Not to mention how tired she was. The main thing was that when she was weaving these baskets, it was very easy to hurt her hands if she wasn't careful. She didn't want to make any more, but Zhu Dainyu stopped her. She didn't dare to. Then let's go talk to third brother. Okay. Zhu Dainyu responded and entered Zhu Sanlu's room. He saw Zhu Sanlu lying on the bed, reading a book. Zhu Sanwu was reading a modern pornographic novel. Just as she was engrossed in watching, she suddenly heard Zhu Dainyu shout, third brother. Chapter 1558. Zhu Sanlu patted his chest as if he was still in shock. He looked at Zhu Dainyu with some dissatisfaction and said, Big brother, can't you knock on the door before coming in? Aren't you afraid of scaring people by coming in without anyone noticing? Zhu Dainyu said disdainfully, Why? Do I have to knock on the door before coming in? Of course I have to knock on the door. Zhu Sanlu muttered. Zhu Dainyu said, All right. Don't talk to me about this. I have something to discuss with you. Zhu Sanlu hurriedly put away the erotic book in his hand. He coughed lightly and asked Zhu Dainyu seriously, Big brother, what do you want to discuss with me? Hurry up and say it. The reason I came to talk to you today is to find you a job to do. It's not good for you to lie in the house every day and let others serve you when you eat and drink. Our family is having a hard time now. You have to earn some money. Otherwise, you'll have to work in the fields like me. Zhu Sanlu was frightened when he heard that he had to work in the fields. It wasn't that he hadn't worked in the fields before, but he didn't want to do it a second time because it was too tiring. Especially on such a hot day, if he were to go out to work again, he would probably lose half his life. Big brother, I can't do this kind of work. I haven't done it for so many years. How can I know how to do it? Moreover, my body is weak now. I can't do this kind of heavy work. Zhu Dainyu glared at Zhu Sanlu. Since you can't do the work in the fields, you have to do the work I arrange for you. Zhu Sanlu hurriedly nodded and said, Big brother, as long as it's not the work in the fields, I'll do whatever you arrange for me to do. All right then. The work I arrange for you isn't very tiring. It's just for you to teach the child how to read. My Qiao, wants to learn how to read. Anyway, you have more time to teach her. Upon hearing Zhu Dainya's words, Zhu Sanlu agreed without hesitation. Okay. Big brother, leave Qiao to me. It's easy. Seeing the sly smile on Zhu Sanlu's face, Zhu Dainyu recalled what Zhu Sanlu had done before. He warned Zhu Sanlu. I asked you to teach Qiao how to read. Don't you dare have any bad intentions. If I find out, I'll skin you alive. Big brother, don't worry. What else can I do to Qiao? It's good that you know. Big brother, is this all we need to do? You don't need to do anything else? Zhu Sanlu felt that the work Zhu Dainyu asked him to do was too simple. He thought it was some kind of heavy work. Of course not. I'll go back to the village to find some people. If there's anyone who's willing to let you teach them how to read, you can teach them. We'll earn some tuition fees. Good men earn more money to supplement our living expenses. Our days are very tight now. Zhu Sanlu thought about it. If he were to teach a few more children, it would indeed be troublesome and take up a lot of his time. However, in order to not have to work in the fields and have better food in the future, Zhu Sanlu agreed to Zhu Dainya's request. Okay, big brother. Whatever you say. I'll listen to you. Okay. Zhu Dainyu responded faintly and turned to leave. After seeing Zhu Dainyu leave, Zhu Sanlu heaved a heavy sigh of relief. Then he began to lie on the bed again. He took out the erotic book and continued to read happily. When he was excited, Zhu Sanlu realized that something below him actually had a reaction. Chapter 1559. One had to know that for so long, there was no reaction from the thing down there at all. Ever since Zhu Era broke his thing down there, his thing had stopped reacting. He had been worried sick these days. After all, he didn't have that thing anymore. He was really a normal man. He couldn't even get a wife in the future. He would probably be mocked for not being a man. Now that the thing down there had a reaction, it meant that it might be cured soon. He could be a normal man again, so how could he not be happy? However, after Zhu Sanlu realized that the thing down there had moved, it was only a matter of a few seconds. Before he could take off his pants to take a look, he felt that it was soft again. Zhu Sanlu sighed heavily. Although he was a little disappointed, the situation was much better than before. Before, it didn't move, which meant that it wouldn't recover at all. Now that it moved, it meant that there was hope. When he earned money, he would hire a doctor to treat it again and see if it could be cured. With this thought, Zhu Sanlu's hope for life was rekindled. When his thing down there was cured, he could ask his mother to marry him a wife. Zhao Yin chatted for a while before returning home from Mulan's house. At night, she smoked some wild candles in the house. As expected, the situation was much better. There weren't so many mosquito bites, so she slept soundly that night. The next morning, Zhao Yin'er woke up early and prepared to make breakfast. Because of the incident between Ma Xiaofeng and Dr. Sun, many people in the village were talking about it. Most of them were just waiting to see a joke. Because Ma Xiaofeng was injured and couldn't even get out of bed, Zhao Ping didn't go to Yang City after coming to Ma Xiaofeng's house early in the morning. He couldn't set up a stall alone. Besides, Ma Xiaofeng was injured because of a special situation. As a good friend, she couldn't urge her to earn money when Ma Xiaofeng was seriously injured. Xiaofeng, then you should stay at home and recuperate. Don't set up a stall for the next few days. Zhao Ping comforted Ma Xiaofeng as she went to Ma Xiaofeng's bed. Seeing Ma Xiaofeng like this, she felt very distressed. Sister Pinger, it's all my fault. If it weren't for me, I wouldn't have delayed you from earning money, Ma Xiaofeng said with a guilty look. Zhao Ping hurriedly waved her hand and said, Xiaofeng, making money is secondary. How can it be more important than you? Let's wait until you recover from your injuries, then we'll go and earn more. Sister Ping, I'm very touched by your words. But I don't think I'll be able to recover in a few days with my injuries. I still need to rest for a while. Zhao Pinger frowned. It was fine if they didn't go and earn money, but what should they do about Ma Xiaofeng's injuries? Qian Chuanxia was already so seriously injured that she couldn't take care of Ma Xiaofeng. Both of them couldn't move in bed now. They couldn't even protect themselves, so there was no way they could take care of each other. Plus, there was no one else in Ma Xiaofeng's house. They couldn't go on like this. Zhao Pinger asked worriedly, Xiaofeng, you and your mother can't get out of bed. And there's no one to take care of you. Who's going to take care of you? Why don't I come over and take care of you for a few days? Ma Xiaofeng hurriedly refused. Sister Pinger, you can't do that. You're pregnant. How can you come over and take care of me? Chapter 1560. Ma Xiaofeng frowned. Suddenly, she felt a little touched. Although this Zhao Pinger was a bit stupid, and sometimes she didn't think before doing things, in most cases, she treated her quite well. Just like now, she didn't even care that she was pregnant for her sake. Big sister Ping, I'm fine. You can't just jump around when you're pregnant. If anything happens to you, won't your husband come looking for me? When Ma Xiaofeng said this, it just happened to poke at Zhao Ping's sore spot. Zhao Pinger sighed again. Sai Xiaofeng, you don't know. My husband doesn't care about the child in my stomach. Even if something really happens, he probably won't care. Zhao Pinger frowned and looked disappointed. Ma Xiaofeng looked at Zhao Pinger in confusion. Big sister Pinger, what's wrong? Which man doesn't care about the child? How can your husband not care about the child in your stomach? At this point, Zhao Pinger didn't know how to explain it to Ma Xiaofeng. She couldn't possibly say that not only did she sleep with Qin Yuan, but she also slept with Qin Chuan. She didn't know whose child it was in her stomach. Qin Yuan didn't care because he felt that the child in Zhao Ping's stomach might not be his. Sai Xiaofeng. Anyway, my husband doesn't care. It's fine. Ma Xiaofeng said with a serious face. All right, big sister Ping. Whether your husband cares or not, you should come over and take care of me. Don't worry, just take care of yourself. For the next few days, you can ask your husband to sell breakfast. Ask him to help you, or ask your mother and mother-in-law to help you sell breakfast together. You don't have to share the money you earn with me. Zhao Pinger wanted to say something, but she was interrupted by Ma Xiaofeng. Ma Xiaofeng really didn't want to trouble Zhao Pinger. Zhao Pinger didn't know how to cook, and her work wasn't neat, so she might as well not come over. Seeing Ma Xiaofeng's insistence, Zhao Pinger had no choice but to say, all right then, Xiaofeng. Take a good rest and get better soon. I'll go and discuss this with my mother. She should be able to help me. Ma Xiaofeng responded. At this time, Ma Xiaofeng's younger brother, Ma Xiaoyu, walked in and stopped in front of Ma Xiaofeng. Sister, are you hungry? Ma Xiaofeng looked at her younger brother with heartache. With her and her mother like this, Ma Xiaoyu was the one who was most offended. A young child needed someone to take care of her. She couldn't even get out of bed, let alone do other work. I'm fine. I'm not that hungry. Xiuyu, are you hungry? If you're hungry, go to third uncle's house and ask third sister-in-law to give you something to eat. Take that piece of meat from home. It's probably enough to feed you a few meals. Ma Xiaofeng knew that if they directly went to their relative's house to eat, their relatives would definitely be unhappy. Ever since his father died, his mother and three didn't have much contact with the Ma family. They didn't interact much with the other branches. They had a slightly better relationship with the Ma family's three branches, but it wasn't that good. If they directly went to eat and drink, the third branch would definitely not accept it. They had to at least let his third uncle and third aunt get some benefits before they could give them something to eat. In the eyes of the villagers, meat was a good thing. It was worth it to exchange a piece of meat for a few meals. Ma Xiaoyu lowered his head and didn't say anything. Chapter 1561. Ma Xiaoyu shook her head and said, Sis, I don't want to eat. I can eat, but what about you and Mom? You two won't have anything to eat. Ma Xiaoyu was worried about Ma Xiaofeng and Qian Chuanxiu. She was fine by herself. After all, she wasn't injured, but her mother was different from her sister. She was so badly injured that she should rest and recuperate. If she didn't have anything to eat, wouldn't her injuries be even more difficult to heal? Ma Xiaofeng was slightly stunned when she heard Ma Xiaoyu's words. Her eyes were a little hazy as she said to Ma Xiaoyu, "Xiaoyu, don't worry about me. I'll be fine. Just go to third aunt's house and eat your fill. I'll think of something myself." Ma Xiaoyu shook her head resolutely and said, "Sis, how can I do that? You can't just care about me and ignore you. Sis, if you and Mom are hungry, then I'll starve with you." Ma Xiaoyu seemed a little stubborn, so Ma Xiaofeng tried to persuade her. "Xiaoyu, listen to me. Mom and I are fine. You're our boy, so you have to eat and drink well." Ma Xiaoyu frowned and said, "Sis, Xiaofeng, how can you do that? How can you stand not eating and drinking? It's fine if you endure it for a day or two, but after a long time you'll get sick. You still have to eat." "Yes, sis, you have to eat. If you don't eat, I won't eat either. Sis, we don't have to eat at other people's houses. I'll cook for you and Mom." Children from poor families learn to take care of the house early. Although Ma Xiaoyu was young, she knew a lot of chores and was more sensible. Seeing her brother being so considerate, Ma Xiaofeng's eyes reddened even more. "Xiaoyu, do you know how to cook? You've never cooked before. Sis, even if you haven't eaten pork, haven't you seen pigs run? I've seen you and Mom cook before. Although I haven't tried it, I know how to do it. Sis, let me try it. I can eat it when it's cooked. It's better than going to third aunt's house," Ma Xiaoyu grumbled. In fact, another reason why he didn't want to eat at other people's houses was because of what happened between his mother and sister. Wherever he went, he would be laughed at. If he went to his third aunt's house, the children of his third aunt's house would definitely scold him, saying that it was better to do it in his own house. As long as he hid at home and didn't go out, nothing would happen. Ma Xiaofeng thought about it and agreed. She might as well let Ma Xiaoyu try. The meat at home was good stuff. Why would he give it to someone else in exchange for ordinary food? "Alright, little you, go ahead and give it a try. If it doesn't work, tell me and I'll think of something else." Ma Xiaoyu nodded heavily and turned to enter the kitchen. She was only 1.34 meters tall, only a head taller than the stove. It was very inconvenient for her to work, but Ma Xiaoyu didn't think it was a big deal. In the kitchen, she followed the steps Ma Xiaofeng and her mother used to cook. First, she went to the courtyard and pulled out a handful of vegetables. Then she washed them together with the meat. Then he put the vegetables on the chopping board. Because she wasn't tall enough, Ma Xiaoyu brought a chair over. When she stood on the chair, her height was just enough. She cut the vegetables and placed them on a plate. Then she cut the meat. Her movements were a little clumsy. She wasn't as skilled as Ma Xiaofeng and Qian Chuanxiu. She was a little slow, but it wasn't difficult. In the end, she finished cutting. Chapter 1562. Ma Xiaoyu went to the front of the kitchen and took out some straw. She lit the torch with a match. When the fire was burning brighter, he put the straw into the kitchen. Then he added some wood. The fire in the kitchen was suddenly very big, and the wood was burning with crackling sounds. When the pot was hot, Ma Xiaoyu stood on the stool again and began to cook. He put rice in one pot, covered it with a lid, and prepared to cook. In the other pot, he prepared to cook. First, he put a few drops of rapeseed oil in the pot. Then he poured the vegetables into the pot and stir-fried them. He added some salt and stir-fried them for a few minutes. When he saw that the color was about right, Ma Xiaoyu scooped the vegetables. He took a pair of chopsticks and tasted it. He found that it was a little salty and not very delicious, but it was okay to make do with it. It was better than nothing. Ma Xiaoyu couldn't make meat, so he put it in the pot and stewed it. As for the salt, he didn't put it in, afraid that it would be salty again. He waited for the soup to be scooped up and brought to Ma Xiaofeng and Qian Chuanxiu. He asked them to add salt themselves. That way, they would be able to control it and wouldn't make the soup too salty. After busying in the kitchen for half an hour, the meat in the pot emitted a strong fragrance. Ma Xiaoyu took a deep breath and started to crave for it. Seeing that the meat was soft, Ma Xiaoyu scooped up 3 bowls. Then he scooped some rice and picked up some vegetables. One bowl was brought to Ma Xiaofeng, and the other to Qian Chuanxiu. She saw that her brother's food was average and not as good as theirs, but it wasn't bad. Especially the meat. After stewing it, she added some salt, but it tasted very good. After all, the meat was very fragrant and very delicious. After stewing it a little, it lost its flavor. Ma Xiaofeng had been hungry for the whole day. Now that he could eat a hot meal, he felt very happy. Ma Xiaoyu went to Ma Xiaofeng and said shyly, "Sister, I didn't cook well. The vegetables are a little salty. Don't mind it. Just make do with it." Ma Xiaofeng's eyes were filled with tears as she said, "You've done very well. How could I dislike it?" "Okay." Ma Xiaoyu nodded shyly. "Sister, you eat first. I'm going to eat too." "Okay, eat more meat. Don't save it for me and mother. You're still growing. When you're tall and big, you'll be able to protect me and mother." Ma Xiaoyu nodded again. "Okay. I got it, sis." After Ma Xiaoyu left the room, Zhao Ping sighed. "Xiaofeng, your brother is really sensible. He has such a good brother. If only my brother could be like him." Ma Xiaofeng smiled and said, "Sister Ping, what are you envious of? Your brother is also very good." Zhao Ping pursed her lips and said, "It was fine in the past, but not now. I don't even listen to you. Xiaofeng, otherwise, I would definitely let Tianan be with you. That brat actually chose that bitch Mu Hin. He'll regret it later." Ma Xiaofeng smiled bitterly. When she mentioned Zhao Tian, she felt her heart ache involuntarily. How could she not want to be with Zhao Tianan? Unfortunately, Zhao Tianan didn't have her in his heart now. Otherwise, he wouldn't have used her body to seduce Dr. Sun, and he wouldn't have put himself in such a miserable state. She didn't know when the injuries on her body would heal. It hurt like hell. Chapter 1563. When Zhao Ping saw Ma Xiaofeng's disappointed look, she comforted her. "But Xiaofeng, don't be sad. It's Tianan's loss that he doesn't want you. You're so beautiful, so you'll definitely be able to find a better one later." Ma Xiaofeng knew that Zhao Ping was just comforting her. If she could find a good one, it would be fine. She was just afraid that she couldn't find one. After all, her body was already ruined, and the matter between her and Dr. Sun must have spread out. After knowing the situation, which man would be willing to marry her? Ma Xiaofeng knew this in her heart. Zhao Ping chatted for a while at Ma Xiaofeng's house before going to find Liang Jinxiao. She asked Liang Jinxiao to help her sell breakfast in town tomorrow. During the day, Zhao Yun went up the mountain to pick some mint. In addition to using mint water to treat Tiantian's prickly heat, she also used the mint to cook some sugar water to eat. In this kind of weather, drinking something cooked with mint should be very cooling. Mu Lianfeng had something to do in the mountain, so Zhao Yun entrusted Tian to Liang Jinxiao. Fortunately, this girl wasn't a troublemaker, so it wasn't difficult for Liang Jinxiao to take care of her. In the past few days, Zhao Wenhua worked on the foundation every day. When she came back, she would take some time to get some wood and make a cradle for Tian. It was more convenient to put the child to sleep in the cradle, and it was easier for the child to fall asleep and not make a fuss. When she saw the cradle made by Zhao Wenhua, although it wasn't as good as the one made by a professional carpenter, it was very exquisite. It wasn't a very good thing, but it was a kind gesture. After accepting this gift, Zhao Yun was very touched. After Zhao Yun sent Tian over, Liang Jinxiao directly took the cradle for Tian to use. There was some straw under the cradle, and then there were 2 layers of quilts. Tian was placed under the quilt, and she slept very softly. As the rocking bed rocked, Tian slept even more happily. She was very satisfied with the rocking bed. Seeing the smile on Tiantian's face, the corners of Zhao Yun's mouth rose together. "Mother, it seems that Tian really likes the cradle that Daddy made." Liang Jinxiao smiled and said, "It's good that you like it. Your father said that many children in other families have one, but we don't, so he thought of making one for you. It would be more convenient for you to take care of the child. Zhao Yun'er nodded. This was the truth. The cradle could be moved. She could move the cradle to wherever she worked. With the child by her side, she could take care of it. If there were any problems, she could discover them in time. Otherwise, if a person was busy outside the house and the child was in the house, the person outside the house couldn't hear the child's cries. Mother, father is becoming more and more attentive. Zhao Yun'er couldn't help but sigh. Thinking back, before they separated from the family, Zhao Wenhua wasn't so good. Now that they separated from the family, Zhao Wenhua's personality had changed a little. He knew how to care and be considerate of his family. Fortunately, they separated from the family. Otherwise, with Zhao Wenhua's personality, he would probably listen to Hu Chunhua everywhere. People grew up in certain things. Although Zhao Wenhua used to do things that made Zhao Yun'er very dissatisfied, she was very happy to see that Zhao Wenhua had changed bit by bit. Haha, your father is indeed becoming more and more attentive, Liang Jinxiao replied with a smile. Chapter 1564. Yun'er, don't scold me. I'm already so old, so I'm embarrassed to say it out loud. I'm afraid that others will laugh at me. What's wrong with that? Haha, but your father was quite happy when he heard it. He said that it's a blessing for us to have a child at such an old age. We haven't had a child for many years. Now that our family is doing well, it's here. This means that the child knows when to come and when not to come. Zhao Yun'er laughed. There's no need to pick a time to have a child. Since it's here, it's time to give birth. Yes, yes. Liang Jinxiao nodded heavily. After all, it was a life, so it should be treated with caution. As the mother and daughter chatted, they heard a noise from the second household. Mother, have you made breakfast yet? I'm so hungry. It was Zhao Wenshui's voice. It was 8 or 9 o'clock in the morning. In the countryside, most people had already eaten breakfast. Zhao Wenshui didn't have anything to eat at this time, so he was naturally hungry. Hu Chunhua heard Zhao Wenshui's noise and walked out of the room. She replied unhappily, Eat, eat, eat. All you know is to eat. You're asking me for food so early in the morning. Are you crying for your soul? Zhao Wenshui also came out of the second household's room. He pursed his lips and said aggrievedly, Mother, I'm just hungry. I can't starve and not eat. Mother, it's not early anymore. Everyone has eaten. We should eat too, right? Hu Chunhua glared at Zhao Wenshui. If you want to eat, don't you know how to cook yourself? I'm already so old. Do I still have to wait on you? Zhao Wenshui felt a little wronged. When he ate with Hu Chunhua yesterday, Hu Chunhua had already expressed her disdain. Now, her disdain was even more obvious. It had only been a day. If Li Chuiying didn't come back, she would have to stay with Hu Chunhua for the next few days. She wanted to eat something every day, but she still had to be scolded. How could she live? Mother. Tianyu's mother is gone. We don't know how to cook. If you don't cook for us, who else can we ask? Mother. It would have been better if Zhao Wenshui didn't mention it. Now that he mentioned it, Hu Chunhua became even angrier. Then hurry up and bring her back. If you bring her back, there will be someone to serve you. If you want to eat or drink, you can ask her for it. Within a day, Hu Chunhua regretted letting Li Chuiying go back. After all, after they separated from the family, he and Zhao Baoshan were used to living a carefree and happy life. Usually they would just make do with whatever they ate. Now the second branch was counting on her to cook. With 3 more mouths to feed, she would definitely be able to cook more food, but it would also be a lot more tiring. These days, Hu Chunhua was used to being lazy. She didn't want to cook. Zhao Wenshui said with a bitter face, Mother, what are you talking about? It's only been a day. Tianyu's mother is definitely still angry. Even if I go to pick her up, she won't come back with me. Hu Chunhua glared at Zhao Wenshui. Thinking that Li Chuiying hadn't come back for a day, it meant that her family had accepted her. It was indeed difficult to let her come back now. It's all your fault, you little bastard. If you weren't too lazy to give birth to maggots, you would have someone to serve you now, right? Mother. You also had a part to play in forcing Tianyu's mother to leave. You can't just blame me, Zhao Wenshui shouted. He hadn't said anything to Hu Chunhua yet, but Hu Chunhua scolded him like this. Chapter 1565. Hu Chunhua knew that she was responsible, but she didn't want to admit it in front of Zhao Wenshui. She said to Zhao Wenshui with a cold face, "That's your fault. If you weren't lazy and worked harder, and didn't make a scene with Widow Qian, would your wife be able to leave?" Seeing that Hu Chunhua put all the blame on him, Zhao Wenshui felt very wronged. Why did he have to take all the blame? He was more upset than anyone else. Mother. Hu Chunhua didn't want to talk to Zhao Wenshui anymore. She replied impatiently, Okay. Don't hover in front of me. I'm going to rest in the room." "Mother, what should I do if you're resting? I haven't eaten yet." Hu Chunhua replied unhappily. "If you're hungry, can't you do it yourself?" "Mother, how can a man like me know how to cook? If you don't know how to cook, let Jinger do it. She's a big girl in her teens or 20s. Can't she cook?" Zhao Wenshui frowned. Thinking about it, Zhao Jinger was a big girl at such an old age. It was impossible that she didn't know how to cook. Since he couldn't order Li Chuiying around, he could let Zhao Jinger do the work. So Zhao Wenshui shouted at the second branch's room again. Jing, come out." Hearing Zhao Wenshui's voice, Zhao Jinger came out of the room after a while. She went to Zhao Wenshui and asked, "Father, why did you call me out?" "Father and Tianyu are hungry. You must be hungry too, right? Go to the kitchen and make some breakfast. Let's eat together." Zhao Jinger looked very unhappy. "Father, why do you ask me to make breakfast? I don't know how to do it." "Why don't you know how to do it?" "Father, I've never done it before. I used to be Mother's assistant, and Mother did it herself," Zhao Jinger complained. Zhao Wenshui frowned and pondered for a moment. "Even if I haven't eaten pork, I've seen pigs run. You must be better than me. Jing, go and try it. It's fine as long as it's edible. Your father's stomach is hurting from hunger." Zhao Jinger was somewhat displeased and directly refused. "Father, I'm not going." "Why don't you go?" Zhao Wenshui looked puzzled. Zhao Jinger said with a cold face, "I'm not going. Father, if you want to eat, you can do it yourself. I'm not eating." Zhao Jinger was angry. If her father and grandmother hadn't gone too far, her mother wouldn't have left. Therefore, regardless of whether she knew how to do it or not, she was not willing to do it. She wanted her father to suffer a little before he realized the importance of her mother. Zhao Wenshui was stunned. Just as he was about to say something, Hu Chunhua beat him to it. "What are you talking about, girl? You don't even want to do some work. You're a girl, not only can you not cook, but you're also lazy. Don't you find it embarrassing?" Zhao Wenshui responded, "That's right, Jing. How can a girl not know how to cook? When she marries into her husband's family, people will talk about it. Your mother spoiled you too much back then, and didn't let you do any work. That's why you don't know how to cook now." Zhao Jinger pursed her lips and said, "Father, you can't say that. I'm going to marry a rich young master in the future. His family is rich and doesn't need me to cook. Just like eldest cousin-in-law. Didn't she do nothing when she married into our family? Isn't she doing well in our family? Who said anything about her?" You're tuning in to the Li Mei's Wuxia Whispers YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.